Farm to Market 1382, better known as Beltline Road. Ownership of this stretch of pavement up for grabs tonight. 6 miles between them, 4 championships between them, and no love lost. The most heated rivalry in North Texas, Cedar Hill and DeSoto, the Battle of Beltline. Next on Friday Night Football. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to DeSoto. Mike Leslie and Julius Lewis here with you, as always, for the Battle of Beltline. Friday nights in the fall are my favorite nights of the week. This Friday night is my favorite night of the year every season. The Battle of Beltline between Cedar Hill and DeSoto, Julius, there's just something different about this game.
Yeah, these teams always go at it every time they play, so I'm excited for the night.
This game matters also on the field. These are two teams that are not used to losing 3 regular season games. That will be the reality for one of these two teams tonight. One of them's walking out of here with 3 L's.
Yeah, in the long run, this plays really important for the standings come to playoff time.
DeSoto comes into this game kind of on a roll. Won big against Waco last week, 72-6. The offense, Julius, is really starting to look the way that they wanted it to preseason.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, they wanted a high-power offense to score as many points as possible, and now it's really rolling.
Meanwhile, on the topic of DeSoto, their head coach, Claude Mathis, will not be here tonight. He is sick with pneumonia. He's been hospitalized this week with pneumonia, so he will not be here on the sidelines for DeSoto this evening. Certainly will be in the thoughts of his players and this DeSoto community, will be in our thoughts as well. Hopefully we'll see Coach Claude Mathis back on the sidelines in the very near future. Meanwhile, for Cedar Hill, a team that comes in off of a win last week against Waxahachie, but a win that was maybe closer than they expected it to be, had to come back for a 14-10 win.
Yeah, shout out to their defense for holding tough the entire game, letting their offense bring them back late. It was a good game for them.
All right, let's get to our players to watch for tonight's game. First for Cedar Hill, their stud corner, Jalen Peoples.
Yeah, I expect him to travel with all the DeSoto receivers. They got a lot of talent on the outside, so whoever has the hot hand, I expect him to be guarding them.
Peoples was committed to Kansas before decommitting earlier this year. Now looks like Baylor might be the leader in the clubhouse for his services right now, but 32 offers on the table, so Jalen Peoples has a big decision in his future. Meanwhile, for DeSoto, you mentioned their wide receiver talent. We spotlighted Jonte Cook as our player to watch before the Duncanville game a few weeks ago. This week, let's go with Stephon Johnson, because they've got this many good wide receivers that we can just kind of pick and choose at random.
Yeah, it's round robin right there in that wide receiver group. He's one of the leaders. He's got a lot of touchdowns, and I'll expect him to have a decent night tonight.
It is almost crisp out here. The wind is blowing strong. You can probably hear it a little bit coming through our microphones. Fall has arrived here in North Texas, and the best football game of the fall is on tap. The Battle of Beltline, Cedar Hill and DeSoto. Kickoff right after this. How in the world? How in the world? On 4th and less than a yard. The 5, touchdown. What a catch. Nice cut upfield to Cedar. What's better than Texas high school football, man? Next up, Cedar Hill at DeSoto. The Battle of Beltline. Friday at 7:30 on the WFAA YouTube channel.
We are not here to fit into a mold. We are here to celebrate and learn from the unexpected, diverse, and beautiful gente. The fuerte, the strong, the ones risking it all para la familia, para la oportunidad, for the lovers of dance, of food, of music. Que viva! We're here to grow together. We are here to thrive juntos, celebrating our lives every day. La vida.
Our stories are everything. We tell them to help us understand who we are and where we're going from here. That's why we're sharing even more WFAA original stories, where the seeds of healing are sown by those who have reaped so much pain. Stories where ancient rhythms can speak so much louder than words, and a 50-year march for equality can become a national reality, one bold step at a time. WFAA Originals. Story is everything. Weeknights at 10.
Misinformation, fabrication, and falsehoods. Fake news is on the rise, and it's coming from all sides. On WFAA News at 10, we're separating the fiction from the facts with our series, Verify. You ask the question. Our team verifies the answer. We find sources and get explanations. Have something you want verified? Find us online or email verify@WFAA.com. Watch weeknights at 10 on WFAA.
As we welcome you live inside Eagle Stadium in DeSoto, WFAA proudly presents Friday Night Football, the Battle of Beltline, live on the WFAA Digital Network, Cedar Hill and DeSoto for the fourth year in a row. DeSoto without head coach Claude Mathis tonight, so Andy Padron, the acting head coach this evening for the DeSoto Eagles. Meanwhile, for Cedar Hill, Carlos Lynn in his fifth year, 39-14 in that span, and it will be Carlos Lynn's club to have the football first. DeSoto won the toss and deferred, so we get to see the Longhorns offense first, Julius Lewis, and Cedric Harden Jr., their quarterback, who does just about everything for their offense.
Yeah, he's a playmaker for him. But DeSoto, not having their head coach, I want to see how they respond tonight. I think they'll be fine, though, because all the work's been put in.
We mentioned it off the top of the broadcast. Claude Mathis not here tonight. He has been hospitalized with pneumonia, hospitalized earlier this week. I called him on Wednesday before I knew anything was going on, and he was feeling pretty down certainly on Wednesday, and unfortunately not quite back on the mend just yet to be able to be here tonight. Certainly we hope that he'll be back at practice on Monday at the very least back with his team by next Friday when his team takes on Waco Midway. But certainly head coach Claude Mathis, in our thoughts and the thoughts of his team and staff and the folks on this near side DeSoto stands, and I mean, as much as these two programs don't like each other very much, certainly everybody from Cedar Hill also thinking of Claude Mathis tonight, because where he belongs is here, and hopefully he's watching right now and get a chance to see his team come out here and play some football. Again, it will be Cedar Hill football first, as DeSoto won the toss and deferred, so we'll see the DeSoto kicker Angel Diaz ready to kick it away. Deep for Cedar Hill to return, Keelan Mims and Felton Briscoe. You'll also see Keontae Reinhardt back there. Mims had an 86-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against Arlington back in September, so Cedar Hill can be dangerous in the return game, and they'll try to show a little bit of that right off the opening kickoff here of the Battle of Beltline. Fourth year in a row we've had the pleasure of bringing it to you here on the WFAA Digital Network, and we are underway in DeSoto. Ball goes through the hands of the return man on the far sideline, and they'll just pounce on it in the end zone. It was touched, but it was not possessed in the field of play, and as a result, that is a touchback, not a safety. So a break there for Cedar Hill as that ball went through the hands of Keelan Mims, but harmlessly for a touchback, and out comes the Cedar Hill offense.
I did not know that rule. I was expecting points right there. That's good to know, though.
If he had possessed it within the field of play, then yes, that would have been a safety, because it went through his hands. And see, even the DeSoto players thought maybe that was going to be a safety. Just a touchback and a bit of a break for Carlos Lynn's team right out of the gates here.
Early break. Don't get many of those.
So here comes Cedric Harden Jr., the junior quarterback. A run threat as much as anything. He can throw the football around, but his primary weapon is his legs. In the backfield with him and getting the handoff to start the football game is Jalen Jenkins, the junior running back, at 122 yards last week against Waxahachie.
That was a good cut by him right there. Play was initially going outside. He stuck his foot in the ground. Was able to get 4 yards out of that one.
Cedar Hill starts 3 wide receivers: Joshua Manley, Jarris Nicholson, Miles Roden. Ernie Moore, their starting tight end, number 4, 6'3", 200 pounds. You'll see him work in an awful lot, though, with Josh McCarter, who's also a very talented future Division I football player. Second down and short. Swing pass on the right-hand side for Kylan Ashton, cut down shortly after he got the football in his hands. Nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, I need to be careful right there with the celebration. Jumped a little bit too high and landed on his butt. I'm excited to see how this defense and this offense match up, from both sides, really.
The linebackers you see there on your screen there from DeSoto have been completely reworked. 3 different starters than when we were here 4 weeks ago for the Duncanville game, as they're still trying to figure out that unit. Throw on the near side once again for Ashton, but a nice tackle on the near side. Jaden Milliner-Jones with the tackle, and he's short of the line to gain. It's 4th down.
Yeah, you can see the intensity out there right now. The guys are flying to the ball. A little smack talk going on early, but it's the battle of the belt line for a reason.
We did a story on it on WFAA earlier this week, Tuesday night. What is the best rivalry in all of North Texas? This one came in second, and candidly, because we had a lot of conversations within the sports department here at WFAA about what would deserve the top spot as Cedar Hill prepares to punt here on 4th down and 4. And that discussion went on for a while. Ball checks up, a little dangerous, but it stays away from a DeSoto player, and Cedar Hill will down it at the 38-yard line. The only reason Ennis Waxahachie took the top spot, frankly, is because of 113 years worth of history. They played their 100th meeting just last month. That one goes back a ways. That one deserves the top spot. That one's intense as well and has a lot of history to it. But this game, especially if you look at it within the 21st century, nothing tops it over the course of the last 20 years or so. These two teams are really, really talented, and this rivalry just has a little extra something special.
Yeah, this game means a lot to both of these communities, and it's bragging rights for a whole year.
Out comes this DeSoto offense. Matt Allen, the starting quarterback. Chris Henley in there in the backfield with him. He was injured earlier this season, but back on the mend and back on the football field for the Eagles. Stoppage here before the first snap of the Eagles' first possession.
It's going to be a high-powered offense versus a really, really good defense. So excited to see who gets the points, who gets the stops. So the clock issue?
No, I think there's something that is shining a light down toward the field, and the officials are trying to tell whoever has the light that it has to go. You see Andy Padron there on the far side.
Oh, it's the drone. The drone.
Oh, it is the drone. There is an HBO crew here doing a story, here doing a docu-series, if you will, on DeSoto. They have had their cameras here Thursday, Friday, Saturday of every week all season long. And I would imagine that's probably one of HBO's cameras up on that drone that the officials said, that's got to go. Chris Henley Jr. with the carry on the first play of the game and nowhere to go, maybe a gain of a yard, and Cedar Hill's sideline already fired up.
Yeah, it's going to be a physical game all night. Whoever can hold the energy the longest, I feel like that's who's going to win this game.
Second down and 9 here for Allen.
Looks like they have Jalen Peoples on Jonte Cook to start the game off tonight.
That will be a matchup worth watching. Peoples was a Kansas commit. He decommitted from there, but he's looking at possibly Baylor. He had 32 offers on the table, and Jonte Cook, one of the best junior wide receivers anywhere in America. But here on second down and 9, handoff off left guard, and a big gainer for Chris Henley. First down and into Cedar Hill territory.
It's a great run, great open field tackle. Just great football to start the game off today.
We talked about this a little bit off the top of the broadcast, but you had a chance to play against both of these teams when you were in high school at Mansfield. When you're playing against teams of this caliber, and your Mansfield team was very good, by the way, too. I don't want to give them short shrift, but what was it like to play against these two teams?
You just have to find a way to match and exceed their physicality.
In and out of the hands of Mike Murphy after what was a great freelance play there from Matt Allen in the backfield to create some space, and now some fisticuffs away from the football.
Yeah, like I said, physicality right there. You just got to find a way to master their physicality and exceed it. These are really physical programs. They like to instill that in their offseason and in all their trainings. Be a physical team and just break the will of your opponent, and you just got to be able to withstand that.
These are two teams that do not like each other very much. I mean, these are kids that have known each other for years and years and years, growing up just miles from each other. Just 6 miles separate these two schools along Beltline Road, hence the name of the rivalry. And they've known each other for a minute. There's a lot of kids in this game that played for the other team last year. Robert Richardson, one of the top running backs for Cedar Hill, was the starting running back last year for DeSoto in this game.
How does that work?
So there's a lot of, there's a lot going on in this rivalry, and already here in just the opening 3 minutes and 10 seconds, we have seen the intensity and the emotion of this game.
Excited for it. That's what football's about. Emotion, physicality, and heartbreak. Because at the end of the day, somebody's got to go home with a loss, no matter how well they play tonight.
And one of these two teams is going to go home with a 3rd loss of the season. That doesn't happen very often for either one of these two teams. Just shy of 900 of you with us right now on the WFAA YouTube channel. Please drop a comment in the chat feed. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're tuning in to see tonight. Is throwing on the far side is Allen. That may have been short of the line to gain as Stephon Johnson stepped out of bounds just a half a step before he probably would have preferred to. And yes, it's going to be 4th down and just a little under a yard as he's right at that 40-yard stripe.
Yeah, his back was to the marker, so he didn't get to see where he was going.
Yeah, see.
But Andy Padron's first real big decision for the night as the head coach.
Padron, the offensive coordinator, he's been a staple on Claude Mathis' staff and really his right-hand man. He's calling the shots tonight, and he says, let's go for it on 4th and 1. Allen takes the snap. Henley with the handoff into a wall and stood up. He's short. Cedar Hill with the stop.
That was a great tackle.
Chris Henley cannot believe it, but Cedar Hill gets the stop on 4th and a yard. There's a flag on the play afterward. This is probably going to be on the Cedar Hill sideline for excessive celebration based on where referee Bill Tilley is walking.
Yeah, it looked like there was a hole there at first, but you got stonewalled right there, right at the line of scrimmage. I wonder if they're going to give him a warning or they're just going to straight up call it. They'll probably try to control this game early.
Bill Tilley and his 7-man crew certainly have a difficult task in front of them tonight. This is a game, again, with just so much emotion. We saw it 2 years ago. Prior to the 2019 game, there was an extended, protracted, probably 8 to 10 to 12 minute long brawl that just kind of kept spilling over to different sides of the field, and it took a while for coaches and referees and some police that were down there on the field to get everybody under control and ready to play the game. It was about an hour before kickoff. Nothing like that tonight, but there's just so much emotion in this game, and these teams really, really want to win this football game. We're going to see a little bit of this tonight. This time, Cedric Harden Jr. is going to keep it himself on 1st and 10 after the penalty knocked them back to their own 25-yard line. He picks up 8 on the first play of the series and the first big chunk of the day for Cedar Hill's offense.
Yeah, when you can get your quarterback involved into the running game, it just makes it a lot harder for the defense because that's just an extra man you have to account for.
Hassani Shakur says he's watching from Washington, D.C., says he watches every week, just a Texas high school football fan. Hassani, we appreciate you being with us tonight. 2nd down and 2. 4 minutes gone by here in the Battle of Beltline, and whistles before the snap once again. This one's going to go against Cedar Hill. The near side of the offensive line jumped, and that turned 2nd and 2 into 2nd and 7.
Both teams still feeling each other out right now. Oh, they're going. Okay, both teams still feeling each other out right now. First quarter. I feel like something's about to happen, though.
2nd down and 7. Quick toss on the near side. Jenkins trying to cut back. Leg drive gets him across the 30 to the 31. Earns back maybe 3 of those 5 penalty yards. Charles Reed says he's watching from Lancaster. Says he likes both teams, but he's pulling for DeSoto tonight. He said C.J. Henley is his nephew.
It's always good that family gets to watch the games, especially when they can't make it out here.
One of the best things about what we've had the good fortune to do these last couple of years. That one did not go the way Cedar Hill planned as he slipped on that one. Jenkins couldn't get his footing. Rather, it's Robert Richardson on the carry. Lost his feet, and it's 4th down.
It was a good job by DeSoto's defense right there, holding up, especially after the turnover on downs. They really helped out their offense a lot in the field position battle.
So it'll be 4th down and about 8. And Cedar Hill will have to punt it away once again. Sean Sipes, their punter. They really like this kid. They like how he can flip the football field. That one nearly blocked and sent straight up in the air as he tried to avoid the block near sideline, and that's going to end up going down as a very short punt. We'll check where the near side line judge walks to all the way to the 45 already. Going to mark it at the 46-yard line. So great field position for DeSoto. The pressure on the punt affects it and creates a good situation here for the Eagles offense.
I did see a flag. Looked like he might have picked it up. That was great pressure.
Officials are still discussing a little bit here, trying to figure out. But you're right, it did look like they had picked up the flag. Still no signal here from Bill Tilley.
A lot of discussion going on right now.
It looks like it may be against Cedar Hill, and DeSoto saying to make them punt again, perhaps? I don't know why. I mean, after that result from that punt, you'd think you'd want to take that result. But we'll see. Still no signal, though.
Wonder if it was like a holding call. Be my best guess on the guy trying to block the punt.
And they will make him punt it again, it appears. We never got a signal there from Bill Tilley as to what the penalty was, but very clearly it was against Cedar Hill. So they'll walk it back, reset the sticks, and punt it away once again.
I'm assuming it was a holding call. It's marked off 10 yards.
Cheryl says in the comments she's watching from DeSoto where she's lived over 50 years, but she works for Cedar Hill ISD for over 20 years. She said her team wins either way. It's a good way to watch this football game because not a lot of people are in that camp. So if you can be in that situation, good for you.
Looks like they're coming after this one again.
Much cleaner, though. A line drive punt. Bounces into the chest and just pounced on top of by the DeSoto return man.
Looks like we're getting a little chippy out there already.
Rather, it's Jamarian Ravenel that just had to jump on top of it. Again, some extracurriculars after the play, but the officials break it up. Another look at this one as it bounced right into the helmet of Ravenel, and he just had to jump on top of it. As it turns out, it is better field position for DeSoto than it would have been. So the decision to take the penalty pays off, and back comes Matt Allen and company. Midway point of the first quarter here in the Battle of Beltline. Mike Leslie and Julius Lewis here with you on the WFAA Digital Network. YouTube Live, our main platform this year, but you can also watch us on the WFAA app, streaming on Roku and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm interested to see if they implement some of the passing game in this drive. A lot of runs the first two drives, not many passes besides the drop ball. But he's got guys who can get open.
1st and 10, quick swing on the far side in the hands of Mike Murphy. Spinning his way for, give him 6 on the play, and a good start to the series here for DeSoto.
Yeah, just get the ball out, space to your wide receivers quick. Let them do their job. Great blocking on the outside right there by Stephon Johnson.
2nd and 4 now. Allen quickly back to the line of scrimmage to give himself some time here to look near side to Andy Padron, the offensive coordinator, and figure out where they want to go with things. Nice cut in the backfield by Chris Henley. What a move that was. That should have been a loss. Instead, it's a first down for DeSoto.
Yeah, number 22, Kylan Salter, made the wrong move right there. It was a great cut, though. I see why they were missing him.
Jaden Trawick did a really nice job in his stead. Cameron Wright as well. But Chris Henley, the senior leader for this backfield, and getting the carry again right here. Dragon bodies across the 30-yard line, down to the 28-yard line, and another good carry for the senior.
Physical running right there. When it takes more than one guy to bring you down, that's how you know you're a physical runner.
Navy, Texas Southern, Illinois State all have made offers to Chris Henley. This time it's Trawick with the handoff and a lot of running room inside the 20-yard line and cut down at the 16.
There's somebody's helmet popped off right there. I'm telling you, after every play, it's getting chippy.
Officials are doing all they can to try and keep this game on the tracks. But again, it's a challenge. There's just so much emotion in this game. It is not easy to do. Big 12 Youth TV Live comments on the YouTube feed says, part owner of Whistleblowers Sports Officials watching from Red Oak says his brother-in-law is Coach Mathis, Claude Mathis. He said, shout out and quick recovery. Again, Claude Mathis not here tonight, hospitalized with pneumonia, and has missed the back half of the week of practice and not here this evening. We'll echo those sentiments. Certainly hopes for a quick recovery for Coach Mathis, and hopefully he'll be back with his team in very short order. He likes what he's seeing on this drive. 1st and 10, ball at the 16 in Cedar Hill territory as Matt Allen and company threaten for the first time today. Down to 9 on the shot clock, on the play clock rather, as he looks near side and finally takes the snap. Handoff, Trawick, patient. Not much running room, gains a yard.
It's the 4th time they ran this outside zone on this play. They've really seen something that they like, running it, especially to the right side of this defensive line.
Jaden Turner, Blake Gillespie, the two offensive linemen on that side. But Sincere Massey, the big 6'5", 270-pound defensive tackle, an Arizona State commit, there to make the play, and it's 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, these guys are just running their defensive linemen into the ground right now. It's the best thing about O-linemen. They love physicality.
Allen stepping up, pressure from behind, and he's taken down. Coming off the edge for the sack is Cedar Hill's Travian Smith, and it's 3rd down and long.
That's Cedar Hill's first defensive stop in this game, besides the turnover on downs. They really needed it on this drive because DeSoto was driving and driving and driving.
Yeah, that 4th down stop was huge. A big stop there on 3rd down, and on 2nd down, rather, to force 3rd and long. Down to 10 on the play clock. DeSoto getting set, down to 7. Down to 3. And they will throw the flag for delay of game. Matt Allen not quite able to get the snap off. And 3rd and 10 becomes 3rd and 15.
Yeah, after that sack, it seemed like they lost their sense of urgency. Everybody was slow to get to the line. Now they just dug themselves in a deeper hole right here.
Comment from Mikel Randall on the YouTube feed saying, run the ball. They've been running it with a lot of effectiveness here in the early going. They went away from it on the last 2 downs, and they haven't been able to move the football as effectively. Now on 3rd and 15, running it's not really an option. They will go to the air. Allen, straight drop, pressure in his face again, evades it. Now he's got some time and space, flips it far side, has a man complete inside the 10. They'll be short of the line to gain, but Stephon Johnson picks up a big chunk of those 15 yards. Beg your pardon, it's Trawick who leaked out of the backfield, 8, not 6, and a big play there to make 4th down much more manageable. It's going to be 4th down and about a yard.
It was a good job right there by Matt Allen, stepping up in the pocket, avoiding contact from both outside rushers. Looks like they're going to go for it right here.
Second time today we've seen DeSoto go for it on a 4th and short. They got stood up at the line of scrimmage last time. Let's see if they can gain it this time. 4th and 1. Treywick again nowhere to go. Cedar Hill's defense with 2 4th down stops in the opening quarter.
That's a great defensive call right there. Took away the option and the dive.
Jaden Brown on the run blitz. He and Travian Smith finished the job, and Cedar Hill with 2 huge, emotional 4th down stops in this opening quarter to start this game strong.
Yeah, those are great stops. So I'm confused why DeSoto decided to go run left. They had a lot of success running on that right side of their offensive line. They decided to switch it up right there when they needed it the most. But that was a great stop by the Cedar Hill's defense.
So 1st and 10, Cedar Hill. They take it over on downs once again. Another flag before the snap. Cedar Hill thinks this one's going to be against DeSoto. Some more discussion here for Bill Tilley's crew.
I think one of the defensive linemen jumped early. Oh,
It is going to be a false start against Cedar Hill. Comment in the YouTube chat from Huncho Boss says, how many Salters we going to see? Kylan Salter, the outside linebacker, a junior this year for Cedar Hill, the younger brother of Caden Salter, who was the quarterback here at Cedar Hill a year ago and scored 6 touchdowns in last year's Battle of Beltline in a 49-42 win for Cedar Hill. The name Salter probably doesn't ring very kindly in DeSoto with the way that he was able to have success against them these last 2 years, led them to back-to-back wins his junior and senior years here at Cedar Hill. So seeing another Salter on the field, I imagine for anybody who bleeds green, they're kind of shaking their head like, can we get rid of these kids already? Kylan Salter's had a nice start to the year, has a couple of interceptions, has some fumble recoveries, blocked a kick. A nice start to his junior year. Pass on the near side into a lot of traffic and harmlessly incomplete, but that was very dangerous, and it's going to be 3rd down and long.
yeah, it was a dangerous pass indeed. There was pressure in his face too. Just had to get rid of it. Very dangerous.
3rd and 16 now after the penalty, the loss of yards on the run play, and now the incompletion.
Both these defenses have played well this first quarter. Cedar Hills especially got the 2 stops, 2 4th down stops. But the DeSoto's defense have been put in some situations that their offense could have got them out of, but they've answered the question. They've answered it.
3rd down and 16 now. Yeah, DeSoto really hasn't allowed Cedar Hill to go anywhere so far. Pressure for Harden.
Throw it away.
Throws it into single coverage, but knocked away at the last moment. A nice play on the edge. Now another flag. Devin Bobby got his hands on that football, but a flag comes in after the play as he and a couple of his teammates were celebrating on that Cedar Hill sideline, and I'm wondering if that's what has drawn the flag. And now the officials again run to break up some extracurriculars after the play.
Yeah, you can't have that, especially after you make a great play like that. Let's see what they call right here.
Certainly looks like they're about to walk it off in Cedar Hill's favor here. And it will be an unsportsmanlike conduct against DeSoto.
Yeah, you're about to set your offense up a great field position after you made a great play right there. And you just let Cedar Hill off the hook. This might be what they need to get their offense going. Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
It was the turnaround into the face of Cedar Hill that drew the flag. Everything before that was fine. You're allowed to celebrate the play. That was where the officials felt like it went too far. And it's a free 1st down here for Cedar Hill. Into the pile and nowhere to go. That's the problem so far for Cedar Hill, is their offense has really not been able to get any sort of positive momentum here.
Yeah, and I mean, they have to use that mistake by DeSoto to get going. So far, DeSoto's D-line has been more physical. Controlling the line of scrimmage, not allowing the running backs to run how they want to. getting pressure in the quarterback's face as well.
Cedar Hill certainly a more ground-oriented team, but they go to the air again here. Harden scanning, just has to throw it away at the feet of one of his wide receivers. Kylan Ashton the intended target, so no grounding there. But this is a Cedar Hill team that they like to run the football. They like to run the football with Jalen Jenkins. They like to run the football with Robert Richardson. And most of all, they like to run the ball with their quarterback, Cedric Harden Jr. Kylan Ashton gets in the mix as well, but they need to move some bodies, and right now that's just not happening.
Yeah, it's not. And then if DeSoto can do this throughout the game, and the secondary can hold up how they have been the last couple drives, last couple plays, then DeSoto might have a lot of success in this game.
Final 49 seconds here of the opening quarter. Harden looking deep right side, tipped and incomplete, in and out of the hands of Jarris Nicholson. That ball should have been caught and could have been a first down there for Cedar Hill, and Nicholson's frustrated with himself on the far side.
Yeah, he's very frustrated with himself, but I mean, these are the plays that Cedar Hill needs to be successful in this game. They're not going to get many chances like that.
So another punt here for Cedar Hill. This will be the third punt for the Longhorns. We've seen them punt now 3 times. We've seen DeSoto get stopped on 4th down and a yard twice. Nice punt this time from Sipes. Bounces out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. And back comes the DeSoto offense.
So the last 2 DeSoto drives have been stopped on 4th down. I mean, they have a lot of success. They got a lot of stuff going, but they just can't finish drives.
There you see Andy Padron in the middle of the screen, the acting head coach tonight and offensive coordinator. Trying to find something that'll work against Cedar Hill defensive coordinator Ray Gates' scheme. The Cedar Hill defensive front, Sincere Massey, Harvey Dyson, a couple of kids that will go play Power 5 college football. Nice cutback here by Trawick, but right into the chest of a Cedar Hill defender. I believe it was Massey that whipped him down after maybe a gain of 2.
Yeah, that run had potential to really break a lot of space. Massey made a good play, holding his ground, redirecting and making the tackle.
Looks like DeSoto's going to try for one more snap here in the opening frame. Allen with 3 wide receivers to the top of the formation. Flips it near side for Trawick. Cedar Hill read the screen well. Maybe a gain of a yard or 2 out to the 39-yard line. And that's one in the Battle of Beltline. Scoreless between Cedar Hill and DeSoto. 3rd and 6 when we return on Friday Night Football. How in the world? On 4th and less than a yard. The 5, touchdown. What a catch. Nice cut upfield to Pater. What's better than Texas high school football, man? Next up, Cedar Hill at DeSoto. The Battle of Beltline. Friday at 7:30 on the WFAA YouTube channel. Back in DeSoto, scoreless after 1. Cedar Hill and DeSoto, 3rd down and 6 forthcoming here from the Eagles offense. In what is the number 2 rivalry in all of North Texas, according to our WFAA sports staff. We spent a lot of time on this over the course of the weekend into Monday and Tuesday, aired this story on Tuesday night. Ennis versus Waxahachie took the top spot. Cedar Hill DeSoto, though, took the number 2 spot, and this is as heated a rivalry as it gets. As on 3rd and 6, the throw goes from Allen right side, incomplete. No flag on the ground. I think that's a glove that dropped on the ground, so it's incomplete, and it's 4th down and 6. And another decision here for this DeSoto coaching staff. This time they are going to punt the football away.
I think right here you have to kick the ball. That was a good job right there by Cedar Hill's defense, getting a stop.
So Cedar Hill already with 2 4th and 1 stops in this football game. Now they force the punt. And now it looks like Cedar Hill's, or rather DeSoto's going to have to call timeout because they were about to run out of time on the play clock. I'm curious your perspective on this. In that situation, now it's the first half, and first half timeouts matter a little bit less than second half timeouts. So maybe in this circumstance, the math works out that it's the right decision to save those 5 yards. In a situation where you're about to punt the football away anyway, though, how much are those 5 yards really worth? Wouldn't you rather have the timeout?
Yeah, I'd rather have the timeout. Yeah, I'd rather have the timeout. But one thing, though, I would rather, instead of running that play going into the second quarter, I'd let the quarter go.
That's true, too, yeah.
Come out second quarter, run my next play. But I would have saved the timeout.
DeSoto using their first timeout of the half, so still 2 to work with over the course of this second quarter, which, again, a first half timeout, not quite as valuable as a second half timeout, but always curious your opinion on these kinds of, it's kind of on the razor's edge. I mean, you can go either way on a decision like that, but to punt it on 4th and 11 as opposed to punting it on 4th and 6,
because if we're going to use our timeout,
that big a difference.
We're going to use our timeout there. We should have used it down here when we were in the game.
Exactly, yeah.
But looks like are they in their punt safe look right here? No, they're coming after it.
Short kick. Bounces at the 41-yard line and falls dead at the 37.
Yeah, there was a chop block right there in the middle. The referees missed that one.
So a 24-yard punt sets Cedar Hill up with really their best field position of the day.
Yeah. Now they really have to take advantage. DeSoto's defense has played well, though. Cedar Hill's offensive line needs to try to get some type of movement just to give their playmakers a chance.
Cedar Hill so far with just 12 yards of offense through that opening quarter. Cedar Cardin and company need to get untracked here in this second quarter. 1st and 10 at their own 37. Harden pointing to the defense as Richardson goes in motion. Harden's going to keep it himself. Following blockers, gains 2.
That right there is a win for DeSoto's D-line. But at the end of the day, if you're Cedar Hill, you still have to do what you came here to do, is run the football.
And that to me is really the key to the start of that series is that Cedar Hill going back to, all right, we're going to run the football.
Yeah.
Or at least we're going to attempt to. So far, they have not really been able to have a whole lot of success doing anything offensively. But where they're going to have the better chance of success is certainly running the football. They're going to try and go to the air here. Harden stepping up, trying to evade pressure. Taken down at the 42-yard line, give him 3 on the play, and makes 3rd down a bit more manageable. You see the athleticism from him, but he just has nowhere to move right now.
Yeah, he doesn't. Doesn't have time to get it to his guys. But I feel like if Cedar Hill wants to be successful in the run game, they're going to have to start using him in it. Because they used him earlier. They had their longest rush of the game, and ever since then they haven't used him.
It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Bill Tilley and his crew still discussing, and there will be a penalty here. It's going to be another unsportsmanlike penalty, and it's going to go against Cedar Hill.
I feel like we're going to see a lot more of those tonight.
We've already seen a couple.
You can't win a football game playing like that, regardless of how much you dislike the other team or what play you make and who you want to show off to. You can't win a football game getting unsportsmanlike penalties.
I mean, by my math, Cedar Hill has 17 yards of offense so far. They just lost 15 of them right there with that penalty. It's a hard way to win a football game. Motion man is Reinhardt across the formation. Harden to go to the air here on 3rd and 20. Rolling, flag down, big hit. Fires backside, completed it, but nowhere to go, as going to his knees to make the catch was Ernie Moore. And we'll check yet another flag.
Yeah, that could have been a really bad play right there. One of the defensive linemen from Cedar Hill they were cut block from behind. Right there, I think Cedar Hill needs to attack the middle of the field. They sent everybody they had into the boundary. And DeSoto just put 4 guys over there.
They do pick up the flag.
Oh, yeah, he's hurting. I think that number 52 right there.
Oh, now they haven't picked up the flag. Initially, they signaled that they were picking up the flag. Now they do call the personal foul for a chop block. And
I think the first flag was a holding, and then the ref threw his hat for the second flag. Yeah, Cameron Guyton, he was the one who
took a low hit there.
Yeah, took a low hit. He bounced right back up, though. I applaud him for that.
Now he is back down, though, getting some assistance here from Troy Ott and the DeSoto athletic training staff. Minute and a half gone by here in quarter number 2 in the Battle of Beltline. In a scoreless football game, both defenses have done the job here in the early going. DeSoto's defense has not allowed Cedar Hill to really gain half a yard, it feels like, in the early going. And DeSoto, though they've been able to move the ball with some effectiveness, have gotten into 2 4th and 1s, and Cedar Hill's defense has stepped up huge, Julius Lewis.
Oh, yeah, they have. But I do like what I'm seeing from DeSoto's defense, especially what we saw from them earlier, where Duncanville kind of just had their way with them that second half. And what I'm looking at now is 10 times better than what we saw in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And
what is it that you see is such an improvement?
Just a lot more effort, a lot more physicality. Guys are flying to the ball. But Cedar Hill's defense is playing amazing as well. I'm not taking anything away from them.
We're about to see Cedar Hill's defense once again as the Longhorns offense again forced to punt. Sipes has the ball go through his hands, gets the punt off. Takes a one bounce in favor of Cedar Hill, but then bounces backward, back across midfield, and it's going to be DeSoto football on Cedar Hill's half of the football field at the 49-yard line. Sean Sipes did a great job to get that punt off after having the ball go through his hands. But then it bounces backward and out of bounds at the 49, and a great spot for DeSoto to start.
Yeah, even though he dropped the ball, he did a good job not to panic, because it could have been a lot worse than that. Wonder if DeSoto takes a shot right here, or if they continue to run the ball.
Allen will be in shotgun on 1st and 10. Handoff, Henley, right guard, spinning his way through the defense. Finally stood up at the 43-yard line. Give him 6 on the first play of the series. They've certainly had more success so far, Julius, on the ground.
Yeah, and they run the same play every time. The right side of that O-line is getting so much movement.
Henley again, dragging tacklers, first down.
And then you have Henley making plays like that. Cedar Hill tried to bring somebody off the edge, and it didn't affect him at all.
A lot of movement on the line from both teams. DeSoto pointing to Cedar Hill. And it will go against the Longhorns, and it'll be 1st and 5. Fast break in the comments says keep running until they come into the box.
Yep, because right now they have a little shell coverage going on outside. Too high safety. Keep running the ball.
And you don't blame them for having that look with how gifted the DeSoto wide receivers are. You gotta be covered in that area, and maybe that's the conscious decision that Cedar Hill has made is we'll let the ground game beat us. We're not going to let the passing game beat us. Ground game didn't beat them there, though. Kylan Salter and company taking Henley down for a loss, and it'll be 2nd down and 7.
See, but then again, right there, they went away from what's been working for them. They ran to the left side of that O-line. All night, the right side's been working for them. Every time they go back to the other side, it's been a negative play.
Zaylen Scott got there first. Donovan Malone there as well, in addition to Salter. And it's second down, and they'll call it 6 officially. Henley in motion. Allen scanning, looking deep. Into double coverage. Murphy can't make the catch in the end zone.
Yeah, he almost made a great catch right there.
Mike Murphy, the senior, streaking up the seam.
I like how Allen put that where only his guy could get it, though. Right in between both safeties. You got to make those type of plays because they haven't got them often.
I was going to say points have been hard to find. Yards have been hard to find here in the opening 15 minutes and change of this football game. 3rd down and 6 now. Have to get to the 28-yard line for a first down. Allen, play action, looking over the middle, has a man complete, first down. It's Jonte Cook on the receiving end, and they move the sticks.
That's the guy they want to get the ball to, though. Great route right there by him.
Cook, just a junior, one of the best wide receivers across the country. 4-star product, rated as the number 8 wide receiver in the junior class. He is a monster to have to try and cover. Henley up the middle, lots of running room, gashes him inside the 10, and it's 1st and goal.
Looks like Jonte Cook is hurting. He tried to get a sub after that last play.
Yeah, now he does have somebody come on for him.
That was a great run right there by Henley, though.
And timeout Cedar Hill after Chris Henley, the senior running back, goes right up the middle. Down to the 5-yard line, and a fresh set of downs here for the Eagles offense.
If DeSoto wins this game tonight, it'll be because how their defense has played this first half and how Chris Henley's been running and how that right side of the O-line's been blocking.
Jaden Turner, Blake Gillespie, the starting right guard and right tackle respectively, and they have been the road graders here in the early going for Henley, for Trawick. As a lot of what DeSoto has done offensively tonight has come on the ground. Ray Gates trying to get his Cedar Hill defense in order. Andy Padron talking to his DeSoto offense, trying to finish off this drive because we've seen them, again, move the football in this first half with a decent bit of efficiency on 2 different drives. Both of them ended with 4th and 1 stops where Cedar Hill was able to make the stop and come up with a clutch stand. Certainly the Longhorns looking to do that again here with their feet standing on their own goal line.
Yeah. This drive feels a little bit different, though. Feels like the momentum's kind of swaying towards DeSoto's offense right now. But as we've seen before, Cedar Hill's defense has been able to stop them when it counted.
Allen has Henley to his right in shotgun. Henley gets the handoff, but whistles at a flag before the snap and a false start, and now some extracurriculars away from the play again on the near side. I think it was Jalen Bean who got tangled up.
Yep, and that's who the false start's on, too.
With Tamirian Harden. So they'll walk it back to the 10-yard line. Officials timeout, and there's another player down.
A physical game, sloppy game, physical game. Whoever straightens it up first might be the one who come out tonight. But at a certain point, you got to, okay, all the extra stuff's got to go. It's time to play football.
Hard to get a look at who it is that's down for Cedar Hill right now with their training staff around him. Mark McGill, Julie Torrey.
I think it was number 90.
90 would be Sincere Massey, their big defensive tackle. And that's exactly who it is. Arizona State commit, 3-star prospect. One of their key pieces to what is a very good Cedar Hill defense. Never a good time to lose a guy of his caliber. Worse to lose him in a goal-to-go situation. So certainly the Longhorns hope that he'll be back on the football field in short order. Robert Young, Amor Carr Lane, 2 of the guys you'll see in there in his stead. So it's first and goal from the 10 now. Allen with Henley to his left now. Another flag. And this one's going to go against Cedar Hill, so those 5 yards will go right back. A sloppy, sloppy start to this football game. Lots of flags.
Lots of flags, no points.
So first and goal once again, back at the 5-yard line. Henley goes back to the right of Allen. Finally a snap. Henley with the handoff. Takes it off left guard. Cut back. End zone. Touchdown DeSoto.
A great run by him. Started off right. Was able to find the crease. A lot of movement right there by this DeSoto offensive line.
Henley with the 5-yard touchdown run. And DeSoto the first to find points in this one. The Battle of Beltline seesaws towards DeSoto's half early on here in the second quarter. Diaz on for the extra point. And it's up and through. 7-0 our score in favor of the Eagles. 8:28 to play, second quarter. And DeSoto finally able to finish a drive after they had a series of decent ones prior that got held up short.
Yeah, I didn't think the first score in this game was going to be 8.5. Was it 8:28? Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be the 8:28 mark of the second quarter.
Yeah. All defense in the early going of this football game. DeSoto forcing a series of punts. Cedar Hill with a couple of 4th down and 1 stops. But DeSoto this time finally able to finish the job. Chris Henley with the 5-yard touchdown run, and they take the early lead here in the Battle of Beltline. 1,500 of you with us right now on the WFAA YouTube channel. We do appreciate you being with us tonight. Again, please drop a comment in the feed. Let us know who you're watching tonight, where you're tuning in from. We've had people tuning in from all over the country, all over the world. I saw one person said they were watching from Mexico a little while ago in the chat feed. Just let us know where you're tuning in from. And please share this stream around. Take that link and send it off in a text message or tweet it out. Share it on Facebook. Let your friends and family know, and the Cedar Hill and DeSoto communities know that they can tune in tonight for the latest installment of the Battle of Beltline.
I wonder if our friend from, Poland? I wonder if they're back in the chat tonight.
We had somebody from Russia last week,
yes,
I think,
Russia.
too. Yeah.
That's what it was.
So 7-0 DeSoto on the strength of the Chris Henley 5-yard touchdown run, and now the Eagles kick it away. Short kick, fielded at the 26-yard line. Keontae Reinhardt on the return, and basically runs laterally, get it out to the 28-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Cedar Hill there.
Can't wait to see how the Cedar Hill offense responds to what's going on right now. They haven't had, I can't even say much success. They haven't had any success with what they wanted to do. So hopefully they can change their game plan around. Still run the ball, but find ways to get their playmakers the ball.
Updated box score shows Cedar Hill with 17 total yards so far. DeSoto with 106 now after that touchdown drive. The Longhorns just have not been able to move the football yet. We'll see if that changes here. Harden, handoff. Jalen Jenkins trying to get to the outside. Stiff arms his way and gets a couple more yards, give him 5 on the first play of the series. And an aggressive and physical start for the junior running back.
I mean, that's how you want to start a drive after your defense let up a score. I like how they went to the outside run game this time instead of going inside.
Good blocking on the outside by Derek Whitaker, too. Officially goes down as a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5. Harden to the air, quick swing near side. Kylan Ashton, this is a kid they like to try and get the football. Flag behind the play, though, as they tried to set up some blocks on the near sideline with the wide receivers.
For all my football players out there, if you're blocking, you cannot body slam the person you're blocking.
It's probably going to get called.
But it was a great play design.
Mark Dudley in the chat stream saying he's watching his nephew Mike Murphy, tuned in from California. Mark, we appreciate you watching tonight. This really is one of the greatest things about this venture that we've been doing now this is the 4th season we've been doing these high school broadcasts on our various digital platforms. YouTube Live, our platform last year and this year, and I certainly believe going forward as well, is that parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and all of that can tune in from all across the country, no matter where they may be, away on business. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is, they can tune in. They run the wheel route on the far side, and it's in and out of the hands of Jalen Jenkins. He was wide open and had lots of green grass in front of him.
Yeah, that was a good play design right there. You snuck behind the defense. You got to make that play. You got to make that catch.
Would have been a first down at the very least, and could have been a good bit more. Instead, 3rd down and 15.
But I like what Cedar Hill's offense is doing now on this drive. They're mixing it up, getting the ball out in space.
Harden on 3rd and 15, trying to find some space, incomplete behind his intended target, and it's 4th down. Joshua Manley was the man he was looking for over the middle. They say he's got the best hands on the team.
It's like he second-guessed himself right here. He had the guy he wanted. He had the guy he wanted. I like what they did. They weren't able to complete anything, but they did switch it up. A good job, DeSoto's defense.
So Cedar Hill to punt it away once again. Sean Sipes has been busy tonight. Low kick, takes a good Cedar Hill bounce across the 40-yard line and down there. So now a Cedar Hill defense that has been tested tonight, has been put in some tough spots. Now maybe the toughest spot they've been put in this evening, where they really need to make a stop here.
Yeah, they need to make a stop. They're probably tired right now. Honestly, they've been out most of the game. But yeah, they need to make a stop right here. No points or a field goal. That's all I'm asking my defense right now. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep making all the tackles. And just play hard.
Good to see Sincere Massey, the senior defensive tackle, back out on the football field after he went down on that previous series. Henley with the handoff into the pile. Give him 3. Henley has been basically the offense here in the early going for DeSoto. Already 51 yards on the evening prior to that carry. Swinging it near side for Henley. Good pursuit from the near side and taken down there. Donovan Malone running step for step with him. Travion Gaines there for the tackle as well.
It was a great tackle by him. I think he came from the opposite hash and made that play too.
There's speed on this Cedar Hill defense. They're flying around out there. 3rd and 4. Allen looking back to Padron, the offensive coordinator, for the play. 8 seconds on the play clock.
These safeties are playing really deep right now.
2 wides to either side. Handoff Henley. Lots of running room right up the middle. 1st down and into Cedar Hill territory.
That's the problem when you play 2 deep safety like that. And you're just leaving space right there for your running back to make plays.
Caden Salter, one of the superstars of this rivalry in years gone by, certainly last year. 6 touchdowns in a 49-42 Cedar Hill win in the Battle of Beltline. In the chat feed right now on YouTube, says they don't want to run the ball toward Lil Bro's side. Lil Bro is number 22, Kylan Salter. That ball in and out of the hands and incomplete. Stephon Johnson had a chance at it, but it would have been a spectacular catch. So Caden Salter, nice to see you watching tonight. His younger brother Kylan off to a very nice start this year. Couple of fumble recoveries, returned for touchdowns. He's blocked a field goal this year. A very nice start to the season for the junior linebacker. Caden, you'll get a kick out of this. There was somebody that I imagine was probably from DeSoto who made a comment on the YouTube feed earlier tonight that said, when are we going to stop seeing these Salter brothers on the team? Flag here prior to the snap and another false start. It's going to be 2nd and 15. It has been a very yellow start to this football game. It has been flags everywhere.
And I wonder what the absence of Claude Mathis on the DeSoto side is. If that's like changing up the dynamic of what's going on with the team right now.
It's a hard situation to be put into, to not have your head coach there on the sideline. Again, our thoughts with Claude Mathis. Hopefully he is on the mend in short order, hospitalized this week with pneumonia. Andy Padron, the offensive coordinator, making the decisions tonight. Good fight there from both sides. Sincere Massey and Jaden Trawick. Massey is going to get flagged for that.
Yeah, he went for 2 shovel digs. He should have went just for the one. The second one definitely got the flag on him.
And it's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty against Cedar Hill. When they were about to have DeSoto in 3rd down and 17.
Yeah.
Instead, a free first down served up on a silver platter.
Yeah, both teams have been just letting each other off the hook all night.
Yeah.
If I'm the coach
Both
that
teams have made these kinds of mistakes in the early going.
Yeah, if I'm the coach at halftime, I'd be like, celebrate on the sideline only. Our sideline. You make a play, you got to save your celebration until after the drive.
So a fresh 1st and 10 here for DeSoto. Allen looking towards Padron once again. Signals back and forth. Play clock down to 2. Gets the snap. Trawick on the handoff. Lots of running room off left guard. Into the second level across the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Jaden Trawick, the sophomore, with some burst.
Yeah, he hasn't got a lot of run plays tonight, but when he has got in, though, he's shown why he was capable of toting the rock at the beginning of the season.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. DeSoto looking for a 2-score lead. Trawick in motion. Allen, pressure in his face, steps up, evades it, he'll run for it. Inside the 15, sits down at the 11-yard line.
It's a good job right there by him sliding, avoiding contact.
Pickup of 8 on the play.
Number 90, Sincere Massey, has just come off that early injury and just been on it, on a tear.
Trawick again. Stood up right at the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a yard. Trawick, the sophomore, he was their lead runner while Chris Henley was hurt. Came into this game with 400 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He and Cameron Wright man to the ship while Henley was coming back off of injury. Henley's back now, and he's back in the backfield right now. That's going to draw a flag. I thought he had gotten back. A little bit of extra discussion here from Bill Tilley and company. It almost looked like he said, did he get back? I think they're discussing whether or not this flag will stand or not.
Really a big call right here.
The difference between 1st and goal and 3rd and 1. It's going to be a false start against DeSoto after all of that.
Even bigger call now.
So it becomes 3rd and 6. A player from Cedar Hill did jump across the line but then got back. But apparently the official's saying that there must have been a flinch from somebody in the offensive line that created that jump, and that gets the false start penalty, and it's 3rd down and 6. Under 3.5 to play here, 2nd quarter, 7-0 DeSoto, and 3rd and a little bit longer. Pressure, Allen steps up, taken down. He'll be short of the line to gain. He did gain a yard or 2, but it's going to be 4th down.
And he had Mike Murphy right there in the middle of the field.
Timeout DeSoto. Their 2nd timeout of this first half. A 7-0 lead. Their kicker, Angel Diaz, did hit a 41-yarder against North Crowley earlier this season, so has a decent bit of range. They're certainly within that right now. Where the ball sits at the 13-yard line, it would be a 30-yarder, so well within Angel Diaz's range.
Kicking it right here. It's been hard to find points.
Amen.
Been stopped on 4th down twice already. Yeah. I know you don't want to.
Absolutely the right decision.
I know you don't want to, but you don't know when the next time you're going to get an opportunity to score points. And especially with your defense playing how they've been playing.
Here comes Matt Allen, though. Although Matt Allen, I believe, is also their holder. He is. And that explains that, as here is Angel Diaz set to kick it. Again, it'll be it looks like where they're going to spot it, it's actually going to be a 29-yard field goal based on that spot right there. Just a little left to center from 29 yards from Angel Diaz. Snap and holder, good. Kick is good. And DeSoto with a 2-score lead.
Okay, looks like Matt Allen's in there talking a little bit of smack.
A 29-yard field goal from Angel Diaz. 3:07 to play here in the second quarter. And a 2-score lead feels like an awful lot in this football game.
It does. It really does. I thought initially going into that drive that if Cedar Hill held DeSoto to a field goal, it would be a win for them. But with the way things are going right now, I don't know.
Cedar Hill needs a spark right now.
We need something. A lot of sloppy play, miscommunication, drop balls. Just need to figure out something.
Over 1,500 of you with us right now on the WFAA YouTube stream. Again, please share this feed around with your friends and family throughout the DeSoto community, the Cedar Hill community, the Texas high school football community at large. Let them know that they can tune in tonight for the latest installment of the Battle of Beltline. 4th straight year we've had the good fortune to broadcast this game on the WFAA digital network. Thursday Night Lights the first 2 years, 2018 and 2019. And then as we transitioned into Friday Night Football last year and this year. It's been a great game every time. Lots of trouble here, and that ball's DeSoto's football. It pinballed off of 2 Cedar Hill players, and DeSoto there to grab it right into the waiting arms of an Eagle, and it's DeSoto football.
So he's down with an injury, too.
Through the hands of Keontae Reinhardt, off the hands of Keelan Mims. And coming up with it for DeSoto is Jamarian Ravenel as it came right into his hands. And it's 1st and 10 Eagles right at the 20-yard line.
So he landed on that shoulder, too.
Ravenel still being looked at here by the DeSoto training staff. Just made the play of the football game, but paid for it.
Crazy the highs and lows of football right there.
Good to see him back up on his feet and already reaching for his helmet. That's a good sign.
We were just talking about Cedar Hill needing a spark, and DeSoto just got one.
The way he just patted his chest, I almost wonder if he was just saying that he got the air knocked out of him.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
One more look at it here before DeSoto lines up 1st and 10 at the Cedar Hill 20. Reinhardt had a chance at it. Mims had an awkward shot at it as it ricocheted off his foot and right into the arms of Jamarian Ravenel. And here comes Matt Allen and company now with an opportunity for blood. Play action. Allen, pressure in his face, evades it. Now he's going to try and run for it. Matt Allen to the near sideline, across the 15, steps out of bounds at the 12.
That's a great job eluding it. Because right here I thought he was done. Makes one guy miss. Makes another guy miss. Outruns the other guy. Shows some speed. Was able to make something out of nothing. See if he goes up top.
2nd down and 2. Henley, 1st down and goal. Inside the 5, still driving down to the 2-yard line.
If I'm DeSoto, I'm running it again. Just keep running it.
I think if I were Andy Padron, I wouldn't call a pass play the rest of the game the way they're running the football. Timeout, Cedar Hill.
It's a good timeout right there.
think it's the timeout they needed right there.
Defense
DeSoto's got Cedar Hill on skates right
yeah.
now.
Defense is exhausted. If DeSoto can score right here, this will be big, especially going into halftime right now.
DeSoto has the ball to start the second half, too. That matters in this equation. There you see the HBO camera crew. They have been following this DeSoto football team all season. They have had a crew here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every week all through the season. They'll be putting together a documentary on this DeSoto Eagles season. No word yet on when that will actually hit your television, but keep an eye out for it because it's coming down the pike in fairly short order.
Can't wait to watch it and be like, hey, I called that game.
First and goal, DeSoto at the 2. Henley and Allen left and right in the backfield. Allen hands to Henley. Too easy. Touchdown, DeSoto.
Same play.
Chris Henley with his second touchdown run of the football game, and DeSoto is in control in the Battle of Beltline.
And this is a shock to that Cedar Hill sideline.
Just 26 seconds after the Angel Diaz field goal, the kickoff return fumbled. DeSoto pounces on it. Ravenel with the recovery. And Henley pays it off with a 2-yard touchdown run. 16-0 Eagles now, waiting on the PAT here from Angel Diaz.
Who would have thought that DeSoto's offense gets it done on the ground tonight?
Yeah, everybody talks about their wide receivers, and for good reason. Their receivers are tremendous. But the ground game has gotten the job done tonight, and it is a 17-0 DeSoto lead. Chris Henley with the 2 touchdowns, an Angel Diaz field goal in the middle. A 17-0 quarter for the Eagles. And Cedar Hill's in some trouble right now.
They are. They really are. Still a lot of football to be played, though. Going in this drive right here, going into halftime, you make your adjustments and just play the game. If I'm DeSoto's defense, I just keep doing what I've been doing.
Absolutely. DeSoto's defense has been spectacular today. They have not allowed Cedar Hill to do much of anything. What a stark difference from a year ago in this game. Last year's game, a 49-42 Cedar Hill win. There were 36 points scored in the fourth quarter alone in that football game. DeSoto had 454 total yards. Cedar Hill had 480. And Caden Salter, the hero in that one for Cedar Hill, had 2 passing touchdowns, 210 yards through the air, and another $179 on the ground and 4 more touchdowns. The final one, a 50-yarder on 4th and 1 that iced the football game to put them up 2 scores. That one will run out of bounds. Kickoffs have been an adventure in this football game on both sides and in various ways.
Yeah, thought that one was going to stay in for a second. But Cedar Hill's about to get good field position off this drive right here. With two and a half minutes left to go.
But to think, last year, between the two teams, over 900 yards of offense, 934 yards of total offense. Tonight, Cedar Hill has 22.
Drastically different.
And they trail 17-0. 2:41 left here in the second quarter, and Cedar Carden and company need to get something rolling here. Motion man is Jarris Nicholson. He'll get the handoff on jet motion. Nicholson with a head of steam, and he's got a first down. You almost feel like it's a sigh of relief from the Cedar Hill sideline right now. Like, okay, that's progress. Build on that.
They've had 2 successful plays running to the outside. Hopefully that's something they can build on right now and going into the second half.
More jet motion. Kylan Ashton with the handoff this time. He's got the corner. Cross the 45, cross midfield, tiptoeing his way up the sideline, and they'll mark him out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
There we go, another outside run. Once they get these DeSoto defenders to spread out a little bit, then they go right back up the middle.
This was the story, though, last week for Cedar Hill. Did not score until the fourth quarter against Waxahachie. Trailed that game 10-0. Came back for the win. 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. Cedar Hardin's touchdown run in the waning minutes won that football game for Cedar Hill. So a slow start last week, a slow start this week. This drive starting better than any has so far tonight. They'll go to the air here. Hardin, quarterback draw, perhaps a design quarterback draw, breaks a couple tackles and drags his way to the 40-yard line. Really nice run from Cedric Hardin Jr.
Yeah, that was a great run. I thought he was dead to rights right here. Was able to break 2 or 3 tackles. 2 or 3 arm tackles, excuse me.
Gains 8 on the play, and it's 2nd down and 2. Jarris Nicholson just getting off the field in time. Hardin calls for the snap, pressure in his face, fires far side, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Kylan Ashton.
Just got to put that one on him. Because he had pressure in his face, kind of had to force the throw back inside.
You see Eli Shaw barking at him saying, yeah, you heard me coming. And I think that may have had a bit of an impact on the incompletion there, because there was a hit waiting if he had hung on to the football. 3rd down and a deuce, timeout before the snap called by DeSoto. That is their final timeout here in the first half.
With everything going on tonight, I really like how DeSoto's team has responded.
Yeah. Without their head coach, Claude Mathis, he's been hospitalized this week with pneumonia. Andy Padron, their offensive coordinator, assistant head coach, he's the acting head coach this evening. But yeah, I mean, you think about it, in a game that has as much emotion as this one does, to be without your ultimate leader, that's a challenging spot to be in. Credit to DeSoto, they have answered the bell tonight.
They have a system in place where there's leadership on the field and leadership within the staff. And that's why they are a powerhouse in the state.
Chris Henley with the 2 touchdown runs here in the second quarter, a 5-yard touchdown run, a 2-yard touchdown run, and he has been the lion's share of the offense tonight for DeSoto. 14 carries, 81 yards, and those 2 scores. Jaden Trawick, 6 carries for 27 yards. Most of what DeSoto has done this evening has come on the ground. Cedar Hill, frankly, hasn't done much offensively until this drive. Most of it has come on the ground, and they're going to send Ashton in motion again. Hardin's going to keep it, though, on the read option. He's got the first down just barely right at that 38-yard stripe, and that will move the sticks.
Yeah, they really needed that first down. I feel like they go for it regardless if they didn't get it, but that right there is positive for them.
Clock paused for the moment as they set the sticks. Now it winds again. 80 seconds to play here in the opening half. Cedar Hill's kicker Sean Sipes hit a 35-yarder this year. They feel like he's got range out to about 44 yards. So a little ways to go still to get into field goal range. That would be the 27-yard line to get a 44-yard field goal. Handoff here to Richardson. Nowhere to go. Had his ankles wrapped up. Ball comes out, but long after they had called the play dead. And Cedar Hill will call their second time out of the half here with 50 seconds to play in the second.
Why go back to the inside run, though? Had a lot of success running to the outside. See, I'm a firm believer in if it works, keep doing it until the defense stops it.
What was your favorite play back in the day when you were running back? What was the play that worked most frequently for you?
18 pitch.
18 pitch. What was 18 pitch?
Line up in the backfield, running the outside pitch. Run the
Okay.
play. Yeah, we'd run that play start of every game.
So an option play, but a designed pitch?
Designed pitch, yeah.
Okay.
Every game. We didn't even call it, we didn't even huddle up with the offensive coordinator. We knew what we were running.
Julius Lewis, a running back and corner at Mansfield High School before a very successful career playing corner at TCU. Now the color commentator here on Friday Night Football. They reset the clock to 53 seconds for that timeout for Cedar Hill. Again, they've got one remaining here in the half. DeSoto out of timeouts. Cedar Hill about 13 yards from field goal range, a dozen yards from another first down. Harden claps the snap, quick throw near side. Nicholson met with a face full of defender. Absolutely nowhere to go. Cayman Mathis says, "Dad, what do you think of that?"
Yeah, he made a great read right there. Came off his responsibility and made a good open field tackle.
You know his father, Claude Mathis, is in the hospital right now watching and probably just came unplugged from whatever he's hooked into right now, fired up on that hit from his son. Nice play by the cornerback, Cayman Mathis, and now nowhere to go for Cedric Harden Jr. Fights his way forward back to the original line of scrimmage through the pile, but no further. Clock down to 12 seconds. Cedar Hill hasn't elected to call a timeout yet. 8 seconds. No signal yet. 3 seconds. 1 second. They will snap it. Going to try and go for a Hail Mary here, apparently. They wanted the clock to expire. Harden throws into the end zone. 2 DeSoto players down there, and it's intercepted. And that's how the first half comes to a close. 17-0. DeSoto with the lead. All Eagles through 2 quarters. The interception made by Jaden Milliner-Jones in the back of the end zone, and a fitting finish to this first half. DeSoto's defense, a big part of the story. They get a little kind of a free interception out of the deal, but a good way to kind of put a bookend on it.
Yeah, a little stat booster to end the half. And overall, they did a great job. They dominated their side of the ball.
Cedar Hill's offense hardly able to move the ball in the opening half of play. They're going to need to find something in the second half. Down 17-0 after 2 quarters. Back on Friday Night Football, a look at the all-time record between these two teams. 35 meetings all-time dating back to 1956. 96, though, is when this thing really cranked into high gear, and they've played just about every year since then. DeSoto with the all-time series lead 19-16, but Cedar Hill has won 3 straight in this series, Julius Lewis. Last year, a 49-42 win behind a 6-touchdown performance from Caden Salter. Tonight, though, DeSoto with the much better of things through one half of play. 173 yards to Cedar Hill's 22, 12 first downs to Cedar Hill's 2. Cedar Hill in the first half of this football game had 1 passing yard.
They did.
1 passing yard.
And what I'm noticing is these games that we've had, these rivalry games, the teams that haven't won in a while, they really came out to play. Flower Mound, Melissa, and now DeSoto.
DeSoto was fired up for this one, and they played very well on the defensive side of the ball in the first half. And you can't help but wonder how different a game might this be, how much wider might the margin be if not for those 4th down stops that Cedar Hill was able to come up with in that first half. DeSoto will have the football to start the second half. And Cedar Hill needs to find a stop in the worst way.
Yeah, they need to find something, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Not much has worked for them. Towards the end of the first half, they had some plays that they could potentially bring back this half. Well, they need to find something that's going to work for them consistently.
DeSoto forced 5 straight punts to start this football game. Cedar Hill had those 2 4th-and-1 stands that were huge plays for just kind of the emotional start to this football game. but ultimately DeSoto was able to break through finally with that Chris Henley touchdown run. They were able to drive the length of the field for an Angel Diaz 29-yard field goal. And then immediately after that field goal, the ensuing kickoff was fumbled by two different Cedar Hill return men who had a chance at it. Tough chance at it, to be fair to both of those young men. They had a chance at it, but it was going to be a miraculous catch for either one of them. And it just happened to bounce right into the waiting arms of Jamarian Ravenel. He scooped it up, and a few plays later, Chris Henley went in with his second touchdown run of the football game. That has us at 17-0 in favor of DeSoto to start the second half here. Kickoff return for the Eagles is in the hands of Jamarian Ravenel, and he's up this near sideline, cross the 35, makes a man miss, cross the 40. Nice return for Ravenel, and good field position for Matt Allen and the Eagles offense.
Yeah, they set that one up really nice. They acted like they were going to go towards the Cedar Hill sideline. Came right back.
So it'll be 1st and 10. They'll put it at the 44-yard line based on the sticks on the far sideline. As you get one more look at the nice move from Ravenel right there on the sideline. And here comes Matt Allen and company. They haven't done much, frankly, in the passing game. Just 47 passing yards in the first half. 7 completions for Allen on 11 attempts. Treywick has 2 receptions. Nobody else has more than 1. Handoff here to Chris Henley to start the drive, and this is how they move to the football in the first half, and they start the second half in similar fashion. Chris Henley with a big gainer and a first down into Cedar Hill territory.
He's a very patient runner. I like how he likes to set up his blocks right there. Started outside, ducked back inside, and then jetted back out.
He'll take the handoff once again. Tried to make a man miss. Nice tackle by Donovan Malone. If Malone hadn't been able to keep a hold of him, he might have had some big running room there. But Malone with a nice tackle.
Yeah, that was a solid tackle right there. Like you said, there was a lot of space on the outside if he didn't make that tackle.
Officially no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Allen gives the handoff to Henley once again. Good pursuit from the Cedar Hill defense and maybe a gain of 2. Minute gone by here in the third quarter, 3rd and 8. Allen in shotgun, Henley to his right, 2 wide receivers to either side as he looks back toward Andy Padron, the offensive coordinator, as they change the play. 10 on the play clock. Allen claps for the snap. Straight drop, pressure in his face, flush to the right side, looking, has a man wide open. It's Jalen Bean, and he's got a lot of running room. Inside the 20, sidesteps a tackle inside the 10-yard line. First down, DeSoto.
That was a perfect play design right there. The rush actually forced Matt Allen directly to his receiver.
And Jalen Bean running away from Donovan Malone, wide open in the flats. They mark him out of bounds at the 12-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 for Allen. Lots of confusion there, and that's going to be a false start. Some miscommunication on what the snap count was there, and the center never snapped the football until after 2 or 3 players on the offensive line had already taken off. So 1st and 15 now as they walk it back to the 17-yard line.
This would be big right here if DeSoto scores on their opening drive.
They've been in control of this football game really from the word go. Henley with a nice cut into the second level, inside the 10-yard line, and finally pushed back. He has run the ball very well in this football game and creep it up now on 100 yards on the day. May have just gone over it.
He's got great vision. Really good vision, good feet. All the right tangibles of a really good running back.
Gain of 7 on the play. I believe that puts Henley right on 100 yards on the number. And the 2 touchdowns he's got tonight. 2nd and 8. Island Salter trying to bark out signals to his defense.
Got to hurry up right here.
Down to 0 on the play clock. They do get the snap off, but Henley with nowhere to go. Nice defensive play for Cedar Hill from Travian Smith, and it's a loss. So 3rd and 9 now. Cedar Hill defensive coordinator Ray Gates trying to draw something up here to get another stop. We saw them get 2 4th-and-1 stops in the first half to keep this game scoreless in the early going. We were scoreless all the way until the 8:28 mark of the second quarter. They need another stop here on 3rd and 9. Handoff, Henley, nice cut upfield through the traffic into the end zone. Touchdown DeSoto.
What a
Chris
run.
Henley with his 3rd of the day.
What a run.
Would not be denied.
It's like he should have been stopped right at the 5-yard line. Runs through 4 guys. I think he's having the game of his season tonight. 3 touchdowns. Just can't be stopped.
Now well over 100 rushing yards on the day. And a 23-0 DeSoto lead. Diaz on for the extra point. And it's good. 24-0. The DeSoto Eagles in control on Friday Night Football.
He broke 6 tackles right there. Half the defense.
Chris Henley's having himself a night.
And now Cedar Hill's in a bigger hole than what they thought they would be in coming out of halftime.
It's an 11-yard touchdown run for Henley. And yes, Cedar Hill in trouble right now. A team that on the night has 22 total yards, now trails by 24 points.
If they don't get a stop right, or if they don't score right here, I'm talking about touchdowns, not field goal. If they don't get a touchdown right here in this drive, they're just going to dig themselves into an even bigger hole.
Cedar Hill came into this game 3-0 in district play. Wins over Mansfield, Lake Ridge, Waco, and Waxahachie. Waxahachie last week at home in come-from-behind fashion. They trailed 10-0 for a lot of that football game. 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to come back for the 14-10 win. Got some folks in the comment feed on YouTube saying, watch out for the comeback. If it's going to come for Cedar Hill, it's got to start now. Keelan Mims knocked down at the 24-yard line, flag behind the play.
I'm interested to see what the flag is right here.
See what Bill Tilley and his crew have to say. Legal block in the back against Cedar Hill. And that makes an already difficult task even harder.
Yeah, it really does. I missed that one, though, because the guy who made the tackle, there's only one guy on the outside right there. And
yeah. Nobody else was really in the vicinity of the play.
Looks like they have a long drive ahead of them, though.
If they don't, it might be a long drive back across Beltline Road.
Those bus rides after losses are not fun.
Cedar Hill down 24-0, trying to find an answer here. And right into the teeth of the DeSoto defense goes Jalen Jenkins, and he's dropped for a loss of a yard.
Just this offensive line from DeSoto and this defensive line from DeSoto has been physical all night.
The push into the backfield. I mean, they're resetting the line of scrimmage 2 yards downfield.
Yeah, and as a running back, your holes aren't there, and you can't make a play on your own. It's just going to be a rough night.
Second down and 11. Harden trying to make something happen here tonight. Pressure and just has to run out of bounds. Big loss on the play. Chased out of bounds by London Maston, the senior, fairly new starter for DeSoto, has earned his way into that starting lineup at that defensive end spot opposite Caleb Mitchell, and makes a nice play there to force Harden out of bounds, and it's 3rd down and a mile.
like we got some one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Cedar Hill moving some bodies around here pre-snap. And now a flag at the snap, and it's going to be another procedural penalty against Cedar Hill.
What they're calling?
He called an encroachment on the offense. I don't believe that's possible. Very clearly the penalty is against Cedar Hill, but that brings the ball all the way back inside the 5-yard line.
Not the direction they want to be going.
Spotted at the 4. They've got to get to the 24 for a first down. Harden with 3 wide receivers to the near side. Rolls this way. Fires. Too tall and incomplete over the head of his intended target, Miles Roden, and it's 4th down.
I don't know if I should call it a good stop by DeSoto's defense or just too many mistakes by the Cedar Hill team coming out of halftime.
Penalties to move them backward. They just can't get any push up front. So Cedar Hill to punt it away. Sipes has been busy tonight. His 6th punt of the evening. Short punt, bounces at the 26-yard line. Does take a good Cedar Hill bounce to at least make the Longhorns defense's job a little bit more palatable. But fantastic field position for DeSoto. 1st and 10 at the Cedar Hill 35, and with a 24-0 lead.
Has there ever been a shutout?
Let's take a look back through the series history between Cedar Hill and DeSoto. Cedar Hill won 14-0 in the second ever meeting back in 1957. DeSoto answered in kind in 1958, 20-0. Cedar Hill won 16-0 in 1961. DeSoto won 12-0 in 1963. So the answer to your question is yes, there have been a good handful. 64, Cedar Hill won 21-0. 2004, getting a little bit closer to recent vintage, DeSoto won 27-0. It looks like that is the most recent shutout in series history. DeSoto up 24-0 and looking to add to it here. Henley with the handoff, fighting his way across the 35, and mark him at the 31, a gain of 4 to start the drive.
No, there hasn't been a lot of action going towards these receivers tonight, but they are really putting a lot of effort into the blocking right now. That's what makes a complete wide receiver right there. Not just being able to make the spectacular catch, making good passes, good catches, and running good routes, but blocking on the edges.
Yeah,
that really goes a long way.
And on a night like tonight where the ground game has been what has been most effective for DeSoto, you got to do your job and make those plays. As Henley carries again inside the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 DeSoto. It has been all Eagles tonight, and they are in control in this one right now, looking to add to this 24-0 lead. Do join us tonight on the WFA News at 10. Joe Trahan, myself, Jonah Javad, all out at high school football games around the area for high school game night. High school highlights from around North Texas as the ball goes into the end zone, in and out of the hands of Stephon Johnson. Would have been a sensational catch. Joe is at Aledo versus Mansfield Timberview. The Bearcats going for their 100th consecutive district win tonight against Timberview. Jonah is at Mesquite versus Mesquite north of Mesquite. We'll have highlights of those two games, highlights of this one, and more from around the area. Allen versus Denton Guyer, a big game tonight. We'll have highlights of that one too. Nice job to break a tackle in the backfield, and spinning his way for a few more is Keshawn Jackson. First time we've called his name tonight.
It's weird hearing that Aledo and Timberview are in the same district now, because that's the district I was in. That the whole Mansfield district going back in high school, and
now they've kind of ended up at different levels, a lot of the different Mansfield schools, so it's been segmented out a little bit. Timberview and Aledo last year played for a district championship. in that district. This year, Timberview down a little bit. Aledo still Aledo. Number 1 in the state in 5A Division II. Just stacking championships on top of each other. Third down here, handoff, Jackson. First down. Next week here on Friday Night Football, a little bit of history as we will head to Globe Life Field. The brand new ballpark for the Texas Rangers will play host as we have another District 11 6A clash. The Cedar Hill Longhorns and the number 5 team in the state, the Duncanville Panthers, will play the first football game in the history of Globe Life Field, a test run before the Air Force versus Army game, as that ball's too tall for Jalen Bean and incomplete. It'll be 2nd and goal. Army and Air Force will play their next bunt, so they wanted to have a little bit of a dry run. So, Julius, we get to see a little bit of history next week here on Friday Night Football as Cedar Hill and Duncanville pop the cork for Globe Life Field, as in a football sense anyway.
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of that. Hopefully Cedar Hill can bring some more energy the next game than this game.
They certainly need to against the number 5 team in the state. 2nd down and 9, handoff, Jackson. Dragging bodies inside the 5 to the 3. Keshawn Jackson, the junior.
Just keep doing this. If you can get 5-6 yards a carry, then you can't say much about it. 5-6 yards a carry, that's a win every time.
3rd down and goal from the 3. All they need is one more for a 31-0 lead. Jackson with the handoff. And he's in. Touchdown, DeSoto. All Eagles tonight. That 3-game Cedar Hill win streak in this series about to be history.
And there's just no energy on that Cedar Hill sideline. Fans are already starting to leave. And that is not a good sight.
So the 3-yard touchdown run for Keshawn Jackson makes it 30-0. Angel Diaz on for the extra point to make it 31. And what a performance from the DeSoto Eagles. 31-0 our score on a night where their head coach was not able to be here. Claude Mathis hospitalized this week due to pneumonia. You know he's in the thoughts of these kids as they come out here and play tonight. The leader of this program in his 2nd stint as the head coach of the DeSoto Eagles has brought this team back to statewide contention, one of the best programs in the state, as it was under his tenure the first time around, back to being that once again. He is very clearly the leader of this DeSoto program. For him to not be here tonight, that's a big deal. There were a couple of guys that were former DeSoto players that were down in the office directly below this press box earlier tonight, and I was talking with one of the members of their staff here at DeSoto, and we were talking about the fact that Coach Mathis wasn't going to be here tonight, and they hadn't heard yet about what had happened. Hospitalized with pneumonia. Certainly we hope he'll be, back with his team very shortly here. But they were like, wait, Mathis isn't going to be here tonight? They were shocked. It's impossible to think about the idea of a DeSoto football game without Claude Mathis on the sideline. He is maybe the most recognizable piece of this program. And so for his team to come out here and perform the way that they have tonight, Julius, says a lot about the strength of this program. Mims with the return here out to the 32. Big hit right there on the sideline. Jaden Milliner-Jones made him pay for getting across the 30-yard line. More flags fly in the air.
Yeah, he chunked that ball right at the sideline.
Another look at the hit there. He was a half a step out of bounds, but I feel like that was still in the course of the play.
So they're going to be 15 yards back for that one.
But just what does it say about this program that they were able to come out here tonight and perform the way that they have despite the absence of their head coach in a rivalry game, no less?
It just shows it's like, even though he is the head of the program, it's bigger than one person.
Mm-hmm.
Like the values and what he wanted to instill into his program, it runs deeper than him. So you have to applaud that.
Yeah. Bill Tilley and company still sorting things out. This has been an emotional night, a chippy night at times, certainly in the opening quarter, and then it settled down a little bit. Now it seems to be opening back up a little bit. It's going to be against DeSoto, the unsportsmanlike penalty.
I'm interested to see that one. I thought the ref threw the flag after the ball was thrown back at the sideline, but catch the second guy, not the first guy.
So the penalty brings the ball all the way out to the 46-yard line, so the best starting field position of the night for the Cedar Hill Longhorns. And they're certainly in a world of hurt right now, down 31-0, but that helps. And if they're going to make something of this football game, you'd think it's got to start now. Cedric Harden claps for the snap. Handoff to Richardson, the former DeSoto player. Dragging a couple of tacklers to the 49-yard line, 3 yards on the play. It's been a while since this game was lopsided even like this. 7-point game a year ago. In 2019, an absolute classic. 28-27, Cedar Hill won that game. 32-17, Cedar Hill came from behind to win in 2018. Nearly intercepted on that far sideline. Eli Shaw knew he had a chance at that one.
Yeah, you got to have that one. They don't get any easier than that.
But a 21-17 win for DeSoto back in 2017. 33-18 win in the regular season for DeSoto before winning by 2 scores in the postseason on their way to their lone state championship in school history in that 2016 season. Cedar Hill won 26-2 in 2015. That's probably the closest thing to a lopsided game that we've seen so far in the recent years in this series, is that ball from Harden just a bit too far downfield. Looking for Felton Briscoe, the speedy senior.
Just a little bit too much on that one.
I mean, Harden's got an arm. He shows it off here from his own 42 all the way inside the 10-yard line. He can unleash one, but they just haven't been able to connect tonight. And now on 4th down and 7, Cedar Hill will have to punt once again.
Yeah, it's been a reoccurring theme for them tonight.
Carlos Lynn said to me earlier this week, we're a work in progress, and we're seeing some of that tonight. This is a young football team. They lost a lot off of last year's team. Certainly Salter, the primary element that was lost to graduation, but Kevin Young as well, as this is a great punt from Sipes, down inside the 5, down at the 3-yard line. Ryan Rainey, a key piece of that Cedar Hill team in years gone by. Are they saying that this ball was touched by somebody from Cedar Hill on its way downfield, and they're going to have to move the ball all the way up to the 22-yard line? That's a huge difference in field position as compared to where the ball was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Look at it here. Did it ricochet off of a Cedar Hill player, and you see immediately.
Right on his head.
Official.
Right on. Dunk.
Oh, yeah. Off his head, off his shoulder, and the back judge right on top of it. Well spotted by Michael Camp, and so the ball will come out to the 30-yard line is where they ultimately spotted a 27-yard difference in field position, so that's huge. And Henley gets the handoff, and DeSoto goes right back to work. Ball's on the deck. Ball's out, and it is Longhorn football. Chris Henley has it stripped away, and he comes up a little bit gimpy after that play, too. And Cedar Hill with the recovery. Donovan Hubbard comes up with the football, and Cedar Hill with as much life as they've had so far in this second half.
That was a perfect hit. Hat on the ball. Popped right out. And Cedar Hill finally catches a break.
First time all night we've seen the Longhorns really have something go their way since maybe the first quarter. They had a couple of big 4th down and 1 stands. Since then, it's really been all DeSoto. But a fumble there by Henley, and good field position here for the Longhorns. Jet motion coming across the formation as Felton Briscoe takes the handoff, picks up a couple.
Yeah, that was a great play right there by number 21, Jaden Milliner-Jones. He was able to string that one all the way out and then come back in and make the play.
Got off the block of Derek Whitaker, kept his feet, and made the play. Really nice stuff from Jaden Milliner-Jones, the senior. 6 Division I offers for him. Has played safety in years past for DeSoto, but they moved him to linebacker because they needed the depth there. Here, Harden on the run. Close to first down yardage, down to the 31-yard line. Looks like he'll be just a hair shy, and it'll be 3rd down and a yard. But that's about as much running room as we've seen him have tonight.
And they had success in the first quarter with him running the ball, but they got away from it.
Harden, one of the leading scorers in all of North Texas, 13 touchdowns on the ground through the course of this season. 4 more passing touchdowns as well. But they have just not been able to get the offense rolling tonight. That one's going to be real close to that first down marker. Jalen Jenkins didn't have a lot of running room, and it looks like he will be just a hair short. And it's going to be 4th down and a yard.
At this point, you have to go for it. There's no reason doing anything else.
"14 minutes left in the football game, down 31-0. There's no other choice here but to go for it and try and make something happen. Harden looking to the far sideline, 3 seconds on the play clock, has to snap it quick, and now Cedar Hill's going to have to call timeout.
Yeah, it's just been one of those games for Cedar Hill where nothing goes right for you.
Kenya Monet in the YouTube feed saying, "Come on, Cedar Hill, come back."
I haven't seen a comeback like this since TCU versus Oregon.
Were you on the field for that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. What's it take in a moment like that to even get something rolling in the right direction?
Coach breaking a chair during halftime.
Is that what happened that night?
One of them did.
Yeah.
You're
not Patterson, but one of the assistants?
No. One of the assistants, yeah. Then you're starting linebacker or starting safety, knocking out the quarterback, and then starting center going down, and then Bram Kohlhausen, the GOAT.
One of the great comebacks in the history of college football. One of the great stories, Bram Kohlhausen, in the history of college football. Is that the ring you're wearing right now for the Alamo Bowl, or is that a different one?
This is the second one.
Okay.
Second Alamo Bowl.
Okay. 4th and a yard. Harden going to keep it himself. Nowhere to go. Driving, still fighting. He's going to be short. DeSoto pushes him back. The 4th down stop for the Eagles. Some extracurriculars after the fact, as we've said a few times tonight. But with a $1:35 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Ooh, he follows that block to the outside. He gets the first down easily.
Instead, a wall of green jerseys. Devin Bobby ripped the football out, but after they had already blown the play dead. Jordan James there to push him back. Cameron Guyton there as well.
I think it might be time to put the backups in.
We'll see Matt Allen come out on the field once again here for DeSoto. Allen and Henley in the backfield. Jonte Cook on the outside. Henley right up the middle. Eventually slung back by Sincere Massey and company, but not before he gained 6 yards on the first play of the series and We're going to see an awful lot of number 5 the rest of the way as DeSoto tries to salt this one away.
Number 54, Josh Straw, just blocked somebody 15 yards down the field. He brought him for the line of scrimmage and put him back to where the safeties were.
Josh Straw and Cam Lambert, that left side of the offensive line for DeSoto, those are really the leaders of this bunch. Straw's really kind of the emotional leader. He was a second-team All-District kid last year. Cam Lambert, first-team All-District last year. And they follow those two on this play. Henley spinning his way to the midfield stripe and another first down. And now a player down for Cedar Hill behind the play. Donovan Hubbard was immediately signaling for somebody to come help him as he hobbles his way off. Frankly, I'm relieved to see him jogging off the field because he looked like he was in distress the way he was signaling to the training staff to come help him.
Yeah, it's a lot going on right now in the field. Got a little scuffle by the ball. There's a flag up there by the 50-yard line at the top, flag on the 50-yard line on the bottom. Players hobbling off the field.
After all of that, it is first down DeSoto, but they still have to sort out the flag here.
Hopefully no one threw a punch. There was a lot of pushing.
Andy Padron getting an explanation now on the near sideline. It is going to be an unsportsmanlike against Cedar Hill and another free 15 yards. We saw Cedar Hill get flagged 9 times in the first half for 83 yards. That total now up to 11 penalties for 98 yards. As we wind down the final 30 seconds here of quarter number 3.
Somebody's
Allen
open.
to the air.
Oh.
Now he's going to take off and run for it. Lots of green grass to the right-hand side. Beats a man to the corner, but nice play, in fact, by Donovan Malone to chase him down. Malone has shown some speed in this football game. Got to him, didn't quite let him turn the corner, and grabbed a hold of that white T-shirt and pulled him down.
I think he had Stephen Johnson wide open down this left seam. Looked like he was going to take it at first, but decided to run. But he stays in bound and keeps the clock running, so.
And thanks to that, that'll be the final play of quarter number 3. 31-0 DeSoto. The Eagles in firm control in the Battle of Beltline. Fourth quarter after this on Friday Night Football. Back. Sorry. Back here on Friday Night Football, as you get a look at the series record between these two teams once again. Those 4 in the bottom right corner all carried here on the WFA Digital Network. A thriller in 2018 where Cedar Hill came back for a 32-17 win. 2019 was probably the best game that we've had the good fortune to call here on the WFA Digital Network as DeSoto nearly came back to win that football game. Last year, 49-42 behind Salter, 6 touchdowns, but tonight it has been all DeSoto. And a lot of that young man right there wearing number 5 in green, Chris Henley. 3 touchdown runs on the night from him. Well over 100 yards now, creeping up on 150 on the night for the senior running back. And DeSoto trying to salt this one away.
Yeah, he's carried the entire load for this offense tonight. And without him, I feel like the score would still have been 0-0.
It was 0-0 for a while. The first 16 minutes of this football game, we played scoreless. But eventually DeSoto got things rolling, and it has been all Eagles ever since. Quick pass on the left-hand side for Mike Murphy. Makes a man miss. Cuts inside the 10-yard line. Spin move inside the 5. Touchdown DeSoto. Mike Murphy with his 8th touchdown of the season, and that one was impressive.
It was. They just played the numbers game out there. It was 2-on-1 on the outside. Quick little bubble to your receiver and let him make a play.
37-0 DeSoto.
I think they have broken the spirits of these Cedar Hill players.
A 26-yard touchdown hookup from Matt Allen to Mike Murphy. It's Allen's 27th touchdown pass of the season. And it's 38-0. Eagles on top. Another look at it right here. Nice block on the outside. I think that was Jalen Bean. No, it was Stephon Johnson. Stephon Johnson, a 3-star prospect, an Oregon commit, doing the dirty work on the outside to help his teammate get in the end zone.
I mean, that's what gives people offers, though. Like, what are you doing when the ball's not in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the corner right there, you can't give up the outside that easily. His responsibility there is to set an edge, make the receiver go back inside to his pursuit.
What a performance from the Eagles tonight, 38-0. As they are on their way to a 5-2 start to this season. They opened the year with a loss to a Converse Judson team that preseason was ranked in the top 25 in the state. Since then, that loss has not aged very well. Judson is not having a great season this year. The loss to Duncanville 4 weeks ago right here on Friday Night Football. That's, if you're going to have a loss, take it to the team ranked 5th in the state. But since then, they've gotten things rolling. Beat Mansfield by 30. Beat Waco last week 72-6. And now tonight, against their ultimate rival, Cedar Hill, putting it to them, 38-0.
So has DeSoto solidified themselves as the number 2 team in this district tonight?
I think you have to say that, right? I mean, it's pretty clear DeSoto and Duncanville are the top 2 teams in this district. Cedar Hill's going to have their hands full next week.
Yeah,
that's going to be a really tough task. At Carlos Lending Company, you're going to have to kind of circle the wagons a little bit, figure out a different game plan and a way to attack Duncanville, a team that beat this DeSoto team 42-21 4 weeks ago on this field. That game at Globe Life Field, the brand new Rangers facility. The first football game in the history of that facility. Next week right here on Friday Night Football. Motion man is Ashton, trying to get the edge. Good block in front of him. Give him 5 or 6 to start the series.
Tonight, I feel like Cedar Hill really couldn't, since they couldn't get anything going, we never really got to see their full capabilities of their offense.
Yeah, they've got more than what they've shown tonight. I think that much is clear.
But it's hard to get deep inside your playbook if you can't even do the basic stuff.
Most importantly, moving bodies has been a very difficult task for them. Harden with the carry here. Maybe a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 3. We do appreciate you being with us here on Friday Night Football. Just about 1,300 of you with us still on the WFAA YouTube feed. Lots of comments still rolling in. The DeSoto fans are feeling themselves right now. Really enjoying this moment after 3 straight losses in this series. About to snap that streak, barring a miracle for Cedar Hill over the course of the final 10.5 minutes of this football game.
They come back, I'm never calling another game ever again.
You heard it, folks. If Cedar Hill comes back and wins this football game, we're going to have an open audition for color commentator next week at Globe Life Field.
One thing, though, we'll be excited next week to see how Cedar Hill responds to this game. See if this is a trend for them, they can't get anything going, especially against a good team like Duncanville, or they'll be able to bounce back and put some things together.
Big hit there by Devin Bobby as Cedar Hill ran it around the right edge with Keon Bright. Bright, just a sophomore, has some speed. I think they like his future. But yeah, you've got to be able to figure out a way to respond after a game like this. I mean, you're going to have moments like this from time to time. Most high school football programs around the state have moments like this from time to time. Now, how do you respond? Timeout, Cedar Hill. Again, do join us on the WFA News at 10, just getting underway right about now. In fact, we will have highlights of this game. In fact, we may end up joining this game in progress, depending on how much time is still remaining at that point. We'll see if this game speeds along for us here over these last 10 minutes and 18 seconds, or if we're still cooking here on Friday Night Football. But one way or another, we'll bring you the action here in DeSoto. We'll also bring you to Mesquite and North Mesquite with Jonah Javad and Joe Trahan tonight out at Aledo and Mansfield Timberview as Aledo goes for their 100th consecutive district win. All right, and take a peek at the scoreboard here tonight and see if we can't see what's going on there in Aledo.
Oh, before I forget, I would like to make another shout out to the wonderful ladies up here who provided the food for us tonight.
They did a nice job once again, just like a couple weeks ago when we were here. They have hooked us up. It is not a bad time in the DeSoto press box. Frisco Lone Star with a 33-3 win over Frisco Wakeland tonight. Colleyville Heritage, a team that we saw a week ago here on Friday Night Football in a huge game, basically a district championship game against Mansfield Summit. Heritage with a 35-34 win. So Heritage appears to be cruising toward a district championship. Aledo with a 35-21 win over Mansfield Timberview for 100 consecutive district wins.
It's a crazy stat.
Deep ball for Hardin into a lot of traffic, nearly caught, but incomplete. Keon Bright got up looking for a flag there, but to no avail. Eli Shaw in on the coverage. Duncanville playing Waxahachie tonight, up 45-3 in that one. Highland Park with a 59-24 lead.
A lot of points being scored tonight.
Allen with a big win at Denton Guyer, 38-31 the final in that game. Just a couple of the scores around the area tonight. But 38-0 our score in this one. DeSoto in control. Hand off up the middle. Beg your pardon, I got sidetracked there for a moment. As we are preparing for joining the 10 o'clock news here tonight, I got distracted by my phone. We're trying to coordinate for the live shot that is coming up here in about 15 minutes. And I got looking at my phone there during that punt and got confused as to where the football was. My apologies. The punt from Cedar Hill down at the 40-yard line. and that is where DeSoto will take over. We're trying to do too many things at once here tonight, but DeSoto trying to run out the clock in this one. 9:23 left, a little reverse here. Stephon Johnson with the football in his hands. Matt Allen out in front blocking for him, or at least running around in the general vicinity. Look at the moves here from Stephon Johnson. Still on his feet, finally ripped down at the 46-yard line.
When you haven't got many chances to get the ball in your hand tonight, you got to take it.
Make the most of them, huh?
Yeah, that was an amazing run. Throwing guys by, breaking tackles, just refusing to go down. And here we go again.
Right up the middle, Keshawn Jackson. Clock winding here on Friday Night Football in a 38-0 dominant performance from the DeSoto Eagles here in the Battle of Beltline. It is not normal for this game to look like this, but here we are tonight. That ball just a bit too far for Mike Murphy, looking for touchdown reception number 2 of the night. So looking ahead for these two teams, DeSoto with 3 games that, frankly, they should win the rest of the way. At Waco Midway next week, home to Mansfield Lake Ridge after that, and then at Waxahachie on a Thursday night to wrap up the season on November 4th. For Cedar Hill, next week against Duncanville at Globe Life Field, a game that we'll carry for you right here on Friday Night Football as Jackson carries close to first down yardage once again, but there was a flag there at the snap, so we'll check that. Cedar Hill against Duncanville next week, then at Midway and home to Mansfield to wrap up their regular season. Cedar Hill will drop to 3-1 in district play. DeSoto will improve to 3-1 in district play. You certainly imagine that your playoff teams out of this district would be Cedar Hill, Duncanville, DeSoto, and then one other. Although there were a number of teams that came into this game in contention for playoff berths, as Allen looks end zone once again for Jonte Cook, but through the back of the end zone and incomplete. Made a heck of a catch, but just not a legal one in bounds.
It's a great catch.
Another look at the athleticism here for Jonte Cook. He hasn't had to do much tonight. They haven't done much in the passing game because they haven't needed to. But that's a young man that is about to go to whatever school he wants to in the fall of 2023. Just a junior, but rated as the number 8 wide receiver in America in that junior class. More flags at the snap and a false start against DeSoto.
Yeah.
Trying to finish this game the same way that they started it. Everything's getting sloppy on both sides again. So Waxahachie and your Mansfield Tigers both came into tonight also with 2-1 records in district play. As they swing it near side here from Murphy, incomplete. Another flag.
This is the week where everything starts to separate.
So Waxahachie, we know, is on their way to a loss tonight against Duncanville. Last check, that was 45-3 in favor of the Panthers. Mansfield, I'm trying to get a look at here to see where their game stands. But Waxahachie will have 2 losses in district play. Cedar Hill and DeSoto will be tied in the standings at 3-1. Certainly DeSoto with the head-to-head tiebreaker. And Duncanville will be 4-0 as they prepare to play this Cedar Hill team next week. Keshawn Jackson upended at the 13-yard line. Clock winds down to 7:25 and moving now here in the fourth. It'll be 3rd down and a yard from right at the 13-yard line. Mansfield playing Mansfield Lake Ridge tonight as Jackson carries for the first down. It'll be 1st and goal for DeSoto. Lake Ridge with a 44-30 lead in the fourth quarter of that game. So it looks like Lake Ridge is about to pick up their first district win of the year and move to 1-3. So that means Waxahachie and Mansfield would both drop to 2-2 in district play. That's the best thing that has happened tonight for the Cedar Hill Longhorns, because that means they'll at least stay in that top 3 in this district with Duncanville and DeSoto.
Yeah, a chance for Mansfield to be in the conversation. They couldn't get it done tonight.
They'll still be in the conversation with Waxahachie for that 4th spot as that ball goes over the middle into the end zone. Jonte Cook for the touchdown, number 11 of the year for the junior. And DeSoto keeps pouring it on. Stop the fight.
Yeah, seriously.
44-0 DeSoto. This has not been the week that Claude Mathis wanted, I'm sure. Being hospitalized with pneumonia does not sound like fun. Tonight, I'm sure he's enjoyed.
Oh yeah, he's definitely enjoying it. Celebrating as much as he can right now. I know he can't wait to be out there.
45-0. DeSoto with the lead. That ball was tipped, and Cook still had the concentration to get a hold of it. Davin Lowe got a piece of it, but Jonte Cook squeezes it in the back of the end zone, and DeSoto in complete control, about to move to 5-2 on the year, 3-1 in district play. They lost their district opener to Duncanville on this field 4 weeks ago, 42-21. Since then, they have reeled off 3 consecutive blowout wins. Beat Mansfield by 30 back on September 24th. Beat Waco 72-6 a week ago here on their home field. And now a 45-0 pounding of Cedar Hill.
I mean, like we said earlier, though, in the beginning of the game, his offense has really started to pick it up over the last couple weeks. The points have been piling in.
You know these guys want another shot at Duncanville.
Oh, yeah.
Come playoff time. We saw those two teams meet in the Region 2 final last year in 6A Division 1. Duncanville with a 56-28 win. DeSoto wants another shot at them after that 42-21 loss here in the regular season 4 weeks ago on their home field. Returned by Mims out to the 24-yard line. And back comes Cedar Cardin and company.
I would say if you're Cedar Hill, just run the ball, go home with as many bodies as you can. But they haven't been able to run the ball tonight.
The stark reality is Cedar Hill hasn't been able to do much of anything tonight. Their defense got off to a good start in this football game. 2 big 4th-and-1 stands. They had the emotion going. They were looking sharp. From that point forward, it has been all DeSoto. Eagles forced 5 straight punts by Cedar Hill to start this football game. And now that's Anthony Edwards, the backup quarterback, that will come on for this series and play out the final half of this 4th quarter. Again, we will join our WFA TV audience here in just a few moments here on Friday Night Football. Interesting comment here from Fresh Prince 512 on the YouTube feed. Says Sock could take both of these two teams. Now, South Oak Cliff's got a pretty good football team this year. They're ranked top 10 in 5A Division II. I would like to see that football game. That'd be intriguing.
It would.
I don't know. Obviously, DeSoto has the better of things tonight. Certainly, it appears to have the better football team here in 2021. I would like to see DeSoto Sock. I think that'd be an entertaining football game.
Maybe next year, season opener. Who knows?
Sock did play against Duncanville earlier on.
Fumble right here.
Fumble.
It's a great play.
Picked up.
The perfect call on defense right there.
Nice hustle by Cedar Hill to get back on top of that. It was Felton Briscoe who chased that one down. Another look at this. Coming through and crashing into the play for DeSoto was Jamari Lay. Forced the fumble, and Cedar Hill fortunate to pounce back up on top of it. Five minutes to go in this one in a 45-0 DeSoto demolition. Nice run here by Robert Richardson, the former DeSoto Eagle himself. Carries close to that original line of scrimmage after it was 1st and 27.
It's funny because if this was college, he would not be able to play this game right now. Those crazy NCAA transfer rules.
They're starting to change those rules little by little, but not quite there yet. Nowhere to go for Anthony Edwards, and that'll officially go down as a sack.
Yeah, this is the night it's been for Cedar Hill's offense. Kind of make one good play and then just bounce back.
Sets up 4th down and 17 as the clock continues to wind here. 4.5 minutes to go in the Battle of Beltline. So much build-up for this game. Unfortunately, this time it didn't really live up to the billing. The last 3 years it certainly has. The delay game will make it 4th and 22. But this is the rarity. This is the uncommon result in this matchup. Usually it's a fantastic football game. Cedar Hill set to punt. Sipes has been maybe the most active Longhorn all night. That ball's over his head.
No rush either.
No rush to speak of, so he'll have plenty of time to corral it and send it away. Bounces across midfield and checks up there at the 46-yard line.
The one time.
As we welcome in our WFA TV audience here to the Friday Night Football broadcast. If you'd like to join us here on Friday Night Football, please use the QR code in the corner of your screen as you welcome us, as you join us, I should say, in a 45-0 DeSoto football game. The Eagles have been in control of this football game from the middle of the second quarter on. A run right up the middle here in the hands of Cameron Wright into the second level. That's been the story of this football game. A lot of success on the ground for DeSoto. A touchdown run from Chris Henley 3 different times. An 11-yarder here to take a 24-0 lead. They also had a touchdown pass from Matt Allen to Mike Murphy to go up 38-0. They lead it now 45-0 in complete control of this football game. Cedar Hill had won the last 3 years in this series. They will not win tonight, Julius Lewis. 45-0 the final score. And as we head back to Joe Trahan, Joe, this has been a DeSoto demolition tonight. And they're taking back the Beltline in style tonight. Back to you.
Yeah, Mike. That trophy they got at the belt, it's going right back to DeSoto.
It's going back to DeSoto tonight. There's no doubt about that. They are it's funny, we talked with Carlos Lynn about this rivalry earlier this week, and I said to him, when you win this game and you've got the ability to drive down Beltline Road with that knowledge in your back pocket that, hey, you kind of own Beltline right now. He said, oh, yeah, it's windows down. You're rolling down in style, man. You know you can let the music blare. You can let people see you a little bit. Now that goes to DeSoto. Now Claude Mathis and company have that for the next calendar year. Deep ball up the near sideline, just a bit too far and incomplete.
So Cedar Hill has a saying, TTHL. That means turn the horns loose.
Yes.
That did not happen tonight, sadly.
No, it did not. The horns were kept in their pen all night tonight. 45-0. DeSoto in control and just salting this one away. And off here for Cameron Wright. Wright, just a junior, was a key piece for the run game for DeSoto earlier this season before Henley came back from the injury. Now it's more Henley and Trawick, but Cameron Wright showed a little bit of what he can do earlier on this season.
Yeah, they have a really solid running back room.
Yeah.
4 different guys who can run the ball very efficiently.
Timeout on the field, an official timeout as a player for Cedar Hill is down. DeSoto has also swapped out their quarterback, Darius Bailey, the sophomore backup, on the field now in place of Matt Allen. But just a completely one-sided football game. DeSoto with 28 first downs, Cedar Hill with 8. DeSoto with 420 total yards, Cedar Hill with 66. Cedar Hill now has upped their passing yardage total to 3. They had 1 passing yard in the first half. They now have 3 passing yards. 63 yards on the ground for Cedar Hill. They have nearly double their total yardage in penalty yardage. 66 total yards tonight. They've been penalized 13 times for 118 yards.
Yeah, so 2 takeaways from that. When the DeSoto staff sees these numbers tomorrow, they're going to be really excited for the rest of the season. And when the Cedar Hill staff sees these numbers tomorrow or tonight, they're going to be like, we have an undisciplined football team, and they can't move the ball.
13 penalties for 118 yards is tough to overcome. Meanwhile, for DeSoto, a lot of those 420 yards coming on the ground, 312 rushing yards on 48 attempts. They have run the ball extremely well. That punt is muffed, still rolling around. Cedar Hill pouncing on top of it inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be Longhorn ball, but at their own 1-yard line. It's just been a real tough night for Cedar Hill. There's just no two ways about it. Nothing has gone the Longhorns' way for 3 full quarters at this point, if not longer than that. And that's just the latest example.
I guess the luckiest moment of the night for them is that ball didn't go into the end zone.
Yeah, you gotta take your small victories when they come, because tonight has not been their night. 3 straight wins for Cedar Hill in this series coming into this evening. They won 32-17 in 2018 in the first year of our broadcast here on WFAA. 28-27 in 2019 when DeSoto decided to go for 2 and the win after what appeared to be the game-tying touchdown. We figured we were going to overtime. Instead, they said, no, we're going for it. And the pass went through the arms of L.J. Arnold, incomplete. And Cedar Hill came away with the 1-point win. As now Anthony Edwards, trying to dance out of trouble here in the backfield, makes his way out of the end zone just barely. Last year, that 49-42 thriller that Cedar Hill won behind a 6-touchdown performance from Caden Salter, but K-Salt's not here anymore, and Cedar Hill is still trying to figure out what life's going to be like beyond number 7.
Yeah, they got to figure it out now, because The standings are shifting around in that district, and if they don't figure it out next week,
Yeah.
they might miss the playoffs. That's the reality.
That is on the table as a possibility.
It's very rare when a Cedar Hill team misses the playoffs.
Edwards to the air. Way too far downfield there for Keontae Reinhardt, and incomplete. Final 86 seconds of this one. One final time, our thoughts out to Claude Mathis, the head coach from DeSoto, hospitalized earlier this week with pneumonia, not able to be here tonight. Andy Padron, his offensive coordinator and lead assistant, taking over the reins for this evening's football game. Hopefully we're going to see Claude Mathis back on the sidelines in the very near future, hopefully for practice on Monday, but at the very least for the next DeSoto football game against Waco Midway.
So we had a Gatorade dump right there on the field.
A little bit of celebration for Andy Padron.
Look, we got 3 Gatorade dumps going.
They're chasing after coaches. They are chasing after coaches, trying to dump water bottles on them. They got them.
3 Gatorade showers tonight.
DeSoto is fired up. Ending that losing streak in the Battle of Beltline feels real good right now for the Eagles.
Another one. Every coach gets it tonight.
The DeSoto players are living it up right now. Not often you get to beat a rival in this kind of way. 45-0 the score and cruising toward that final gun. The officials trying to calm them down a little bit. There's a Longhorn banner down there in the corner. Oh, I'm sorry. It says horns down. Of course it does. It says horns down. And the celebration is on in the student section. A couple of players over there from DeSoto already joining them. A 45-0 demolition tonight. And the DeSoto Eagles set to move to 5-2 on the year. They got to try and get all the ice off the field so they can actually play here.
It's a lot of ice.
That's going to take a minute, man. They got players, they got trainers, they got student trainers, they got coaches, everybody trying to kick the ice off the field.
So I saw about 5 Gatorade showers. Looks like
they're ready to play, and DeSoto was having a huddle out on the football field at about the 45-yard line. I don't think they realized that everybody else was ready to restart play here now that they had finally cleared at least most of the ice off the field. Still 1 minute and 8 seconds left in this. But the celebration is on. They've already got some of the student section down on the track now, starting to spill onto the field.
giving HBO a show right now.
HBO's loving this. HBO's got themselves a football team to follow the rest of the way. This is the DeSoto team that keeps looking more and more dangerous. That loss to Duncanville 4 weeks ago keeps getting put further and further in that rearview mirror, and the offense is rolling. This is a team that looks like it could be dangerous come playoff time. Just nowhere to go. If that isn't a microcosm of this football game, they're going to call forward progress outside the end zone there. That's not going to be a safety. But there's just nowhere to go.
It's been like that all night.
I mean, give credit where due. Keon Bright is doing all he can to try and find any sort of space. And every time he takes a step, moves left, moves right, there's another green jersey in his face. Second down and 18. 20 seconds left in this one. Mercifully, the final snap of this one. A couple of yards on the carry there for Zachary Porter. And that one will put this one in the books. 45-0. DeSoto with the horns down and a win streak snapped. DeSoto, their first win since 2017 in this series, and it was in dominant fashion. 45-0. They'll try to keep all of this as docile as possible. They got fans spilling onto the field and everything. As DeSoto snaps a 3-game losing streak in this series. And in impressive fashion. 45-0 the score. Chris Henley leading the way. 3 rushing touchdowns on the night. At last check, 162 rushing yards for Henley on 26 carries. And it appears that that is accurately updated. 26 for 162 and 3 touchdowns for Henley. Keshawn Jackson finishes with 8 for 57 and a score of his own. Jaden Trawick had a nice first half. 6 carries for 27 yards. They didn't really need him to do much of anything in the second half. Cameron Wright, 3 carries for 30 yards. It was all on the ground tonight for the DeSoto Eagles. 49 carries in total for 316 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns in a 45-0 win.
It's dominant right there. That's how you control the line of scrimmage.
Do join us next week on Friday Night Football. You'll see these Cedar Hill Longhorns once again, and you certainly imagine Carlos Lynn is hoping they're going to look an awful lot better than they did tonight as they play the number 5 team in the state, the Duncanville Panthers, at Globe Life Field. Cedar Hill's going to have to find themselves over the course of the next 7 days to put a better showing on the field than what they did tonight, because that is an exacting task against Duncanville.
Yeah, we saw them earlier this year. We know how good they are. I'm guessing the Cedar Hill staff has already started looking into their film, so they know how good they are too. It's going to be another good one, hopefully.
But look at this moment here for the DeSoto Eagles. They've been waiting for this moment. They've been craving this moment after 3 straight losses in this series. Finally, a win again for the Eagles in the Battle of Beltline, first time since 2017. And they left no doubt.
No doubt at all. From the beginning of the game.
A scoreless opening 14 minutes of this football game. But after that, DeSoto started pouring it on. Chris Henley with a 5-yard touchdown run to open up the scoring. An Angel Diaz field goal, and then really where this game kind of tilted sideways for Cedar Hill was on the kickoff return that followed that. It pinballed off of 2 Cedar Hill return men and right into the waiting arms of Jamarian Ravenel. That led to a short Chris Henley touchdown run just a couple plays later, and it was 17-0. And at that point, the snowball was rolling. It was too hard for Cedar Hill to slow anything down at that point, and DeSoto cruised.
Yeah, they did. Once their defense was on the field for pretty much the entire first quarter, most of the second quarter, it was downhill from there.
A joyous celebration tonight in DeSoto. A 45-0 win for the Eagles against their biggest rival, Cedar Hill. And they snap a 3-game losing streak in the series. For our entire Friday Night Football crew, Director Clay Marshall, photographers Dwayne Watkins and Ryan Smith, digital coordinator Nick Blackhall and Alex Cruz back in-house, Julius Lewis alongside. I'm Mike Leslie. So long from DeSoto, where the final score one last time is 45-0. DeSoto. Just an absolute blitzing of the Longhorns. All our Friday Night Football broadcasts stream live and are archived in perpetuity on the WFAA YouTube channel. This has been a presentation of WFAA TV.